Hello, welcome to the Fanfic Majesty. 5DBOPM. Chapter 81 Prepare for the Power Conference. 16 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Regarding Zeno's order, Beerus did not dare to neglect, so he ignored Bulma's scolding, and quickly ran into the spaceship and said, "What did Master Zeno say?" Angel Whis said, "Master Zeno wants to summon Son Goku." Seeing that the meteor shower is almost over, Goku and others all returned to the spaceship one after another, and they just heard the message from Whis. Son Goku said, "It's Quan, what can he do with me?" Bang! Beerus punched Goku hard on the head, and then said, "What is Quan? Don't call Zeno random nicknames, if he doesn't like the Earth, it's game over. Warning you idiot, don't let Zeno see you talk nonsense, show me some respect." Son Goku is a guy who is out of his mind, let him go to meet Zeno, just thinking about it makes Beerus go dead and his face turns pale. Bulma said, "Is Zeno the same guy as the elementary school student in the previous tourney? It doesn't look very good." Beerus yelled exaggeratedly, and said sharply, "Listen to me, Zeno is more terrifying than the bald-headed Demon King. No matter what, Goku is not allowed to make mistakes. Otherwise, with just one thought, Zeno can make the entire seventh the universe is gone, do you understand? Now Goku is leaving immediately, follow me to meet Zeno." He had just attended the wedding, and Son Goku was still wearing the suit Chi Chi bought for him at this time, so there was no need to change clothes. Seeing that Beerus was so nervous, the others couldn't stop him, so they let him take Goku away. Angel Whis waved his wand, and the three of them turned into colorful beams of light and disappeared in the seventh universe. Arriving at the palace where Zeno is, the Grand Priest has been waiting at the door for a long time. Both Beerus and Angel Whis greeted the Grand Priest with respectful salutes. Advertisement. Grand Priest said, "Come with me, Master Zeno is waiting for you." After finishing speaking, he led everyone to the palace. On the way, Son Goku asked Beerus in a low voice, "Is this Grand Priest good?" Quote. Beerus said, "You ignorant guy, Grand Priest is one of the top 5 masters in all universes. After thinking about it, I still think I respect Akira Toriyama's original work. According to the setting of the manga, anime party audiences should not complain." Son Goku said, "Then can I fight him?" Beerus furiously said, "You idiot, don't even think about it. A guy like you, Grand Priest, can crush you to death with one finger." Goku thought for a while and said, "Then is the Grand Priest better than Chiu?" Beerus wanted to say of course, but then there was a sound of Chiu smashing the shell of the universe and rushing into the seventh universe. In an instant, he lost his mind. Where exactly is Chiu's limit? Even his seventh universe destroyer Shendu can't figure it out. At this moment, they arrived at their destination. Zeno was sitting in the center of the hall, and said to Goku with a doll's accent, "Goku, you are here." At this time, Son Goku ran up heartlessly, watching Beerus almost have a heart attack. If Angel Whis hadn't supported him, Beerus would have fallen directly on the hall. Son Goku said, Quan, what did you ask me to do?" Zeno said, "I let you come and play with me." Son Goku said, "Then what are we going to play?" Zeno said, "I don't know." Advertisement. Goku touched his head, then slapped his palm and said, "Then let's play rock paper scissors." Of course Zeno has never played the game of Earthlings, so he asked, "What is that?" Son Goku explained the rules of rock paper scissors to Zeno, and immediately after that, the two were fist fighting in the hall, which made Beerus stare. Called himself and others from 1,000 miles away, is it just for punching? But by the looks of it, Zeno seems to be having a good time. In the end, Son Goku won with punches, and Beerus was sweating. Let him win, idiot, Zeno lost. Zeno is angry. The seventh universe is going to disappear. Unexpectedly, Zeno was not angry because of this, but was very happy and said, "I had a great time today, thank you Goku, please come and play with me next time." Goku couldn't find an opponent during this period, and it was the time when he seemed panicked. Hearing Zeno's words, he immediately remembered the previous agreement with Zeno about the Universe Power Tournament, so he said, "Speaking of fun, the Power Tournament is the most fun. Master Zeno, how are you preparing?" Speaking of this topic, Beerus' heart was immediately pulled into his throat. Zeno clapped his hands and said, "I've already forgotten, thank you for reminding me, there is such a fun thing. Grand Priest. The subordinates are here. Go and prepare me for the power tournament, I want all universes to participate." "Yes, Master Zeno, I'll get ready right away." Advertisement. The Grand Priest bowed, then stepped back. Seeing that Zeno was already preparing for the Tournament of Power, Goku said excitedly, "Then let's go first. The Tournament of Power will be able to fight against all the powerhouses of the universe. It's really great. I have to go back and prepare quickly." Zeno handed Son Goku a button and said, Goku, this is a device to summon me, you press this button and I will appear. If you encounter any interesting things in the future, you must summon me. Goku took the button, scratching his head and giggling. He still doesn't know what kind of powerful nuclear warhead he is holding. Goodbye, man. Goodbye. Coming out of Zeno's palace, Beerus wanted to strangle Son Goku, the talkative bastard, cursing Goku's blood all the way. Son Goku said, "What does it matter? Anyway, our 7th universe has a bald-headed demon king, so it is impossible to lose." Beerus said, "Don't you still want to get Chiu out to fight? Have you forgotten the last time, of Zhao, he destroyed the entire 7th universe? When dealing with the Dark Man last time, everyone was deeply impressed by Chiu's destructive power. Unless it was a last resort, Beerus really didn't want to invite the bald demon king out again, otherwise something more terrible would happen. Luckily this guy just got married and is busy on his honeymoon, so he won't get involved in these things." Angel Whis said, "Master Beerus, are you really not letting Chiu play?" Beerus thought about it carefully, and then said, "We can't rely on this guy who may destroy the universe at any time. Let's see the situation first. If it doesn't work, we can only call him. Before that, we have to find other warriors, that's all right. Goku, you provoked this matter, so naturally you have to solve the matter of finding the warrior yourself." Son Goku patted himself on the chest and said, "Don't worry, this matter is on me." Advertisement. Chapter 82 hits assassination. 17 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. On the Gods of Destruction planet of the 6th universe, Champa is having a fit of rage. Just received news from Grand Priest that Zeno is going to hold a tournament of power. According to his understanding of Zeno, once this game is lost, the result is likely to be the complete destruction of the 6th universe. That idiot named Son Goku, he doesn't understand the horror of Lord Zeno at all, he insists on holding a power conference. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. Master Champa, please don't make such a nasty cry. Bados, who was standing beside him, said, "There is a bald man named Chiu in the 7th universe, logically speaking, it is impossible to lose." Hearing Bados' reminder, Champa's face immediately turned green. Yes, the 7th universe has that monster Chiu, even if all his warriors go together, he probably won't be Chiu's opponent. Then, Champa screamed, "What should I do? What should I do? I'm really dead now." Bados said, "Master Champa, remind you again, don't shout so vulgarly, okay?" Champa walked around the palace alone as if he didn't hear what Bados said, and after a long time said, "Bados, call me Hider." "Okay 000, Master Champa." After all, Bados raised his cane. A flash of light flashed, and Hit appeared in the bedroom of Gods of Destruction. At this time, Hit was covered in sweat and was steaming hot, as if he had just finished a high-intensity exercise. Advertisement. Champa covered his nose and said, "Hit, what did you do? Why is your body smelly of sweat?" Hit said, "I am practicing to defeat Chiu." Champa's eyes lit up and said, "How is it? Have you achieved results in your cultivation?" Hit shook his fist and said, "I feel that I have become a lot stronger, but in the ring, I am still no match for Chiu." Champa said viciously, "What if you're not in the ring? You mean, I want you to go to the 7th universe, assassinate Ya. Hit is the most powerful killer in the universe, and he can't show his killing skills in the ring at all. Maybe Chiu is much stronger than Hit, but assassination is not a one-on-one duel. No matter how powerful the strong man is, he may, CCDG, fall under the hands of the attacker. You can't lose in the tournament of power no matter what, otherwise what awaits you is likely to be ruined. Since it is impossible to defeat Chiu in the arena, the only way to keep him from being in the arena is to assassinate him before the tournament of power." Hit thought for a while, then nodded. "I think I can do it." As the universe's #1 killer, Hit has such confidence. No matter how powerful Chiu is, there must be flaws. As long as you find that flaw, you may be fatal in one blow. Champa said, "Then I will leave this matter to you. Now you go to the 7th universe, and you must kill Chiu. The fate of the entire universe is in your hands. If you lose, everything is over. Understand?" Advertisement. Yes, Lord Champa. Hit bowed to Champa and disappeared into the hall. Even Champa himself didn't figure out how he left. After seeing Hit's ability, Champa breathed a sigh of relief and said, "It's really false." Quote. "Hit has been an assassin for hundreds of years. If he claims to be second in assassination, no one would dare to say that he is #1. The first rule of the killer rule is that when facing a target, you must first observe, accurately grasp the strength and behavior habits of bidders." At the tournament, Hit had already seen Chiu's strength with his own eyes. An indestructible body, a ghostly speed, and an invincible attack. Everything about Chiu left a deep impression on Hit, but it didn't make Hit flinch. In fact, in essence, Hit and Son Goku are a kind of people, both pursuing a sufficiently powerful goal and an unattainable enemy. On the Earth, Hit hid behind a tree, using secret techniques and terrain to perfectly hide his figure and aura. On the sea in front of him, a man and a woman were sitting and chatting with sweet expressions on their faces. In fact, Hit was also very curious about what kind of training method Chiu used to get to where he is today, but after observing for several days, Hit didn't gain anything. The bald-headed Demon King sleeps until 12 o'clock every day before getting up, and then sits on the bed in a daze for half an hour, then washes up and eats lunch directly. After that, I played and chatted with Taisi, and went to Santon, never doing anything right. Can it become stronger? Certainly not. Chiu lives so sluggishly, and still can acquire such great strength. It must be because he has mastered some superb secret method that others don't know. Only this, Hit fully affirmed. Advertisement. So Hit launched an in-depth investigation. He listed Chiu's work and rest time in a rigorous and detailed table, and conducted this research day and night. In the end, the superb secret method was not found, but instead, he suffered from panda-like dark circles. Bastard. There must be something I've overlooked. Hit looked at the boat where Chiu and Taisi were on. As usual, the two would go out to sea at noon, flirting. Taisi peeled a coconut for Chiu, then handed it to him and said, "I've stayed here for a few days, where shall we go next?" Chiu said, "I don't know, you have the final say." Taisi thought for a while and said, "Why don't we go to other universes? Going abroad is not very attractive to a guy like Tai. She is a woman who has traveled the entire 7th universe since she was a teenager. Tai, who loves adventure by nature, has always wanted to visit other universes, but she has never had the opportunity." Chiu said, "No problem, but there are some things that need to be resolved first." After finishing speaking, Chiu glanced at a coconut tree on the shore. Hit behind the tree was startled and couldn't help shivering. Chiu found himself. How did he do that? Hit's lurking technology is his most proud method, and no one in the entire 6th universe has seen through it. Hit is a cautious person when it comes to work. Seeing Chiu's vigilance aroused, Hit turned around and left without saying a word. Ties. Did something happen? Honey. P.S. Chapter 17. Continue to subscribe. Advertisement. Chapter 83. Chiu was so a talented dog. 18 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chiu shook his head and said with a smile, "No, it might just be an illusion." In the next few days, Chiu always felt that there was a vague killing intent around him, tightly locking himself. According to his usual habits, Chiu would not pay any attention to these Xiao who were hiding in the dark, but now he still has Taisi by his side. Taisi is just a common person, it would be bad if she gets involved in danger. Another 3 days passed, and Chiu basically identified the person who came, so he shouted, "Hit, you've been squatting on me for 3 days, why don't you make a move? Are you addicted?" Now that it has been discovered. Then there was no need to continue hiding, so Hit walked out directly from behind the shadows. "How did you find me?" At the martial arts tournament, Taisi had met Hit, and of course knew this killer from the 6th universe. So she peeled another coconut and said to Hit, "Do you want a coconut?" Hit didn't look at the coconut, but stared straight at the squeeze on the boat. Really, why are there always troubles at times like this? Chiu got off the boat, and then greeted Hit in front of him. Last time it was Beerus and the others, this time it was finally cleared up and another Hit appeared. Chiu now just wants to get rid of this fly as soon as possible. Advertisement. Hit stared at Chiu, and asked solemnly, "Why? Why do you eat and drink from morning to night and wait to die, never practice, and still become so strong?" Chiu was furious, pointed at his shiny scalp and said, "How do you know that I don't practice? I worked so hard when I practiced, and I even bald my head to obtain such a powerful strength." Hit was taken aback. Sure enough, as long as it is a strong person, it must be a person with both talent and strong perseverance. But what kind of practice can make the head bald? Is it possible to become a strong man with a bald head? Hit touched the top of his head, which was as hairless as Chiu, and then remembered that he was born bald, not the result of cultivation. So he trembled and said, "What kind of cultivation can turn a person into a bald head? Could it be that after experiencing an extremely tragic battle, all the hair was burned off in the high-temperature energy flow?" Shallow and ignorant. Chiu snorted coldly, and said proudly, "Then I will show you my arduous cultivation method with great mercy." What is it? Stick to 100 push-ups every day. 100 push-ups. What kind of secret method is this? 100 push-ups is not enough, you need 100 sit-ups. Then what? And then I have to run 10 kilometers. Then what? Advertisement. And then it's gone. What? It's gone. Hit pointed at Chiu who was complacent, and said angrily, Nonsense. My daily cultivation intensity is 100 times that of yours. No, it's 10,000 times. You guy, you are not good at all. A rotten person who eats, drinks and waits to die while practicing cultivation. I, Hit, did not become a strong person by relying on my talent. Let's see, this is the result of my cultivation during this period of time. Hit's whole body burst out with an extremely powerful aura. Compared with the martial arts tournament, he was indeed much stronger. Purple's energy flow covered Hit's palm, and then formed a light knife that continuously swallowed arrogance. Hit raised his dazzling knife and shouted, "No matter how powerful you are, a guy like you who doesn't want to make progress will be surpassed by Hit in the end. This is the stunt I practiced for you, the ultimate arrogance cut." After experiencing the battle of the martial arts tournament, Hit has been looking for a way to defeat Chikai's immortal body. In the end, he invented a move to condense all the chi in one point in his hand to achieve the effect of invincibility, which is now the ultimate chi flame slash. In order to practice this move, Hit endured unimaginable cruel training, and today is the time to test this move. Chiu, you will definitely be defeated by me today. I will use this move to show you the weight of sweat and hard work. Only people like me and Son Goku who constantly surpass themselves can be regarded as true martial arts masters. The blood was boiling in Hit's chest, and he couldn't wait to tell Chiu with practical actions that only those who overcome hardships and fights are the real strong. So he launched a flash attack, and then appeared in front of Chiu in an instant, and stabbed the light knife in his hand towards Chiu's heart. Then, there is no more. Chiu's face was frighteningly dark, while Hit's face was pale with fright. The moves he worked so hard to cultivate didn't even break the skin on Chiu's chest. Now the knife in his hand was pressed against Chiu's chest, unable to move forward an inch. How is it possible? This move of mine can even cut off Lord Champa's destructive energy. Advertisement. Hit used all his strength again, but the hand knife still stopped there, unable to even dent Chiu's skin. You mean, I'm actually a gifted dog? A gloomy voice came from above Hit's head. He raised his head, and saw Chiu's gloomy face as if he had been constipated for a week, and suddenly felt the danger of a storm coming. I'm asking you something. You are a gifted dog. Hit boldly said. The cultivation you are proud of is not a cultivation at all. How dare you insult my efforts? This time, Yin Yu was really angry. With a loud noise, Hit was turned into a meteor by Chiu like a fly, and then quickly disappeared into the sky. The next day, Hit came back again, covered in plaster and bandages, and was hiding under a tree to continue his research. No, a person who does not practice hard will never be able to reach this level. Chiu must have other methods. Just then, he saw the bushes beside him move. Hit, who is a master of hiding, glanced at the grass and couldn't help but sneer. Are you an idiot? How can there be such lush grass growing on the beach? The grass parted, revealing an angry head. However, this man, like Hit, was covered in bandages, and it was obvious that he was seriously injured. If this isn't Vegeta, who else could it be? Vegeta snorted and said, no matter how stupid I am, I'm not like some people who challenge the bald-headed devil beyond my control. Advertisement. Chapter 84 Power Tournament Exhibition Competition. 19 more. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Who are you saying overestimated? I'm talking about you, you idiot. Do you know how powerful the bald devil is? He is a man who can destroy the entire universe. It was only in the previous battle between Chiu and the Dark Man that Vegeta fully experienced Chiu's strength. Since then, he has been following Chiu all year round, trying to discover the secret of Chiu becoming stronger. But the result is obvious. Not only did Vegeta find nothing, but was severely injured by Chiu repeatedly. As far as appearance is concerned, Vegeta at this time is much less tragic than Chi. Hit said, you came early. It's been 2 months, Vegeta said. Hit said, did you find anything? When it came to this question, both of them fell into a silent 2-2-3, and then sighed together. Why, Vegeta Dar, is already a genius among geniuses. Why can this guy become stronger than me without practicing? I, Hit, have been wandering for countless years, learned various killing techniques, and practiced hard day and night. Why am I not as good as a guy who eats, drinks, and waits to die? Advertisement. In an instant, the two began to cherish each other. At this moment, the top of their heads was shrouded in shadows. At some point, Chiu and Taisi had already appeared above their heads. At this time, Bulma is expecting to give birth at home, and her second child with Vegeta is about to be born. As a husband, Vegeta ran out to wander around without guarding at home, which made Tais, who was a younger sister, very angry. Taisi crossed her waist and said, Vegeta, Bulma is about to give birth, and you are not by her side to accompany her. Chiu said, honey, it seems that my attack was too light last time. Do I need to work harder this time? Chiu rubbed his fists, making crackling noises from his joints. Hit shook his head again and again. Wait. I'm just passing by. Don't care about mine. Vegeta. Don't do this. Ah. Then, the two turned into meteors again and flew to the distant sky. While Vegeta and Hit were messing around, a big event is happening at the other end of the universe. The originally peaceful planet Supreme Kai welcomes a guest of great background. At this time, Son Goku and Beerus are discussing with everyone the countermeasures for the Tournament of Power. At this moment, the Grand Priest suddenly descended, and Beerus and Supreme Kai immediately knelt down in the tunnel and said, Master Grand Priest, why are you here? Advertisement. Grand Priest said, it's like this. The future Master Zeno has come to this universe. It's very interesting to hear the Zeno of this era talk about the Tournament of Power. So I want to invite you to go there together and fight a skirmish. For an existence like Zeno, time travel is as easy as playing, and he often visits different eras. The Zeno of the two eras got together and chatted about the tournament between the 6th universe and the 7th universe, and the Zeno of the new era was very interested. No matter which era Zeno has a childish character, he has no patience, so the future Quanju wants to have a preview of the Tournament of Power first. The Grand Priest is here for that. Son Goku is most interested in the Tournament of Power. Seeing the arrival of the Grand Priest, Son Goku immediately asked the Grand Priest, My lord, how are the preparations for the official Tournament of Power? I can't wait to fight against masters from all over the universe. Quote. Seeing Son Goku's reckless appearance, Beerus and others couldn't help but feel anxious. However, at the moment of the Grand Priest, Beerus can't attack again. Grand Priest said, except for the stage, everything is almost ready. Like the previous martial arts tournament, we use the Dragon Super Dragon Ball as a reward, and the winning universe will get the Super Dragon Ball to realize their wishes. Son Goku said. Then what's the reward for the failed universe? Everyone must have worked hard for such a game. Rewards. Grand Priest said. There is no reward for the loser. In fact, this matter should not be mentioned first, but you are a friend of Lord Zeno, so I will tell you first. The loser of the Tournament of Power, together with the universe it is in, will be eliminated by Master Zeno. Ah, eliminate. Do you mean directly erased? This is simply too. Advertisement. Hearing Grand Priest's words, Beerus and the others were all shocked and screamed. Grand Priest said, I'll give you an hour to prepare, find all the players on the field, I'll go first. After saying that, the figure of Grand Priest disappeared into the air. As soon as the Grand Priest left, Beerus, who was suppressing himself, broke out immediately. He grabbed Son Goku's neck and shook wildly. Son Goku, you idiot, look at what you did. It's over now, once we are eliminated I'm going to die. The old and new Supreme Kai did not speak, but their faces were ashen and haggard at the moment. There are a total of 12 universes in the Dragon Ball world, that is to say, the chance of winning is less than 10%. It's not necessarily a fatal ending, but it's not too bad. Son Goku rubbed his neck that was red from being strangled by Beerus, and said heartlessly, won't it be fine if you win? You idiot. Everyone couldn't help cursing in unison, and Son Goku didn't even realize how much trouble he had caused. Supreme Kai sighed and said, forget it, don't talk about it, Goku has always been like this 5.9. Now we must quickly find the other two warriors to play an exhibition match for Master Zeno. Otherwise, if Master Zeno is angered, without going to the Tournament of Power, we'd be eliminated. The old Supreme Kai said, just call Chiu, it's safer to have him. Whis said, this can't be done, unless it is absolutely necessary, we can't send the big bald devil. You can call him to hold the line, but try not to let this guy play. Good idea, but we have to find someone to watch him, don't let him act recklessly and anger Lord Zeno. Chiu is not an idiot like Son Goku, once he gets angry, everyone will die together. P.S. Chapter 19, there is still one chapter left, and Chapter 20 will do what it says, a man's promise. Advertisement. Chapter 85 The skirmish begins, Majin Buov's Basil. 20 updates, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. When Chiu fought the Dark Man, the two Supreme Kai were not there. I don't know how destructive Chiu is. But others know how terrifying Chiu is when he is angry. As Whis said, Chiu's danger factor is more terrifying than the wooden fish head of Son Goku. It's natural to call him, but don't let him play yet. After that, Beerus slapped Son Goku on the head with a chestnut and said, find someone for me, and wipe my ass for the trouble I caused. Wow, it hurts, it hurts. Son Goku could only hold his head in grievance, and disappeared on the Supreme Kai planet using instant transmission. Son Goku went to Vegeta's house first, and saw Vegeta was wearing a bandage and hanging his foot on the bed. Even if he was not dead, he only had half his life left, and he was moaning in pain. Son Goku was shocked and said, "How did Vegeta get hurt like this?" The pregnant Bulma in front of the hospital bed snorted coldly and said 22. He asked for it, he went out and ran around when I was about to have a baby, and was beaten by the bald devil. Son Goku shrunk his neck in fear. It seemed that what Beerus said was very reasonable. Sure enough, he couldn't call the bald demon king unless it was a last resort. Kakarot, I need sen beans. Sen beans. Vegeta stretched out his hand and shouted with the last of his strength, but Son Goku had disappeared in place again. Without Vegeta, Son Goku had to find Son Gohan, and then asked Mr. Satan to bring Majin Buu. In this way, the three people in the skirmish were barely together. Advertisement. Chiu originally didn't want to disturb this muddy water, but he couldn't bear Yukong's begging. This guy caused trouble. If he couldn't bring Chiu back, Beerus would have to skin him 8 times. If it was before, Chiu would definitely not buy into his account, but now she is Tazy's husband anyway. The basic social relationship of the family still needs to be maintained a little bit. So Chiu agreed to go with everyone. When Chiu and others arrived, people from other universes were already waiting there. Grand Priest introduced to everyone. This is Son Goku player, he is Zeno's friend, in order to challenge all the strong players in the universe, so he proposed to Master Zeno to hold this competition. As this Son Goku. Damn bastard. If it wasn't for him, how would we be here? If the tournament of power loses, we'll all be wiped out by Zeno. This guy Beerus, how did he restrain his subordinates? Seeing the culprit, no one had a good face. The winning rate of the tournament of power is less than 10%, except for the final victor, all universes must be eliminated by Zeno. The reason why everyone is pushed into a desperate situation is entirely due to Son Goku. Seeing that he has become the target of public criticism, Beerus couldn't help but sigh, why even I have to be implicated? Chiu folded his arms and cast his eyes on the Grand Priest and Zeno in the sky. Advertisement. If there are still enough enemies in this world to fight, then these two guys can definitely be regarded as two of them. At this moment, Grand Priest also set his sights on Chiu in the stands. From this man, he felt a dangerous aura. After a long time, Grand Priest took his eyes off Chiu, he had more important things to do. Grand Priest announced. Now please invite the 7th universe and the 9th universe for a one-on-one confrontation match. The two sides decide the order of players' appearance, and it will start in 10 minutes. The players in the 9th universe are called the Dangerous Trio, and they consist of 3 werewolves of different colors. Among them, Red's werewolf is called Basil, who is the youngest of the 3 and is also the first to play. The order of appearance of the 7th universe was decided long ago, starting with Majin Buu. Satan raised his fist and said, "Come on, Buu. Defeat him." Basil is good at legs and is the fastest player in the Dangerous Trio. From the looks of it, Majin Buu is not even as good as Chiu. With a kind and innocent smile on his face, he is fat and bloated, and he is unsteady even when he walks. Basil snorted coldly, and said disdainfully, "You are the strong man of the 7th universe." Majin Buu said, "Satan wants me to come down and play with you." The 9th universe Supreme Kai in the stand said, "Basil, don't talk crap with him, get him." Basil replied, "I don't need you to tell me." After saying that, a round of Red's arrogance appeared on Basil's leg, and he quickly kicked Majin Buu. Advertisement. At this moment, Majin Buu stood motionless, letting Basil kick him. There was a loud noise, and Basil's figure leapt high from the smoke, and then kicked out dense ki blast with both legs. Dense explosions and smoke flooded the entire arena, and when the thick fog cleared, a big hole appeared in Majin Buu's stomach. Seeing that Majin Buu was so heavily injured, the gods of the 9th universe were all happy, and their eyes were already full of contempt when they looked at the 7th universe. With such strength, how dare you launch a power conference? Who gave you the courage? Faced with the ridicule from his peers, Beerus did not get angry for the first time, but said, "You can't even see the form of 520 clearly, so you dare to make random comments. Who gave you the courage?" 9th Universe Supreme Kai said angrily, "Beerus, what are you talking about?" Beerus was too lazy to talk to these guys. At this moment, Majin Buu chuckled. Obviously there was a big hole in his stomach, but Majin Buu really smiled, innocently and relaxed. "You are so funny." Majin Buu's words brought the scene into a weird state, and then he straightened his stomach slightly, and the horrific wound disappeared. 9th Supreme Kai punched the fence and asked anxiously, "Is this guy immortal?" There is no true immortality in the world of Dragon Ball, but when it comes to resistance to blows, Majin Buu is definitely among the best. This guy's body is like a lump of mud. If he doesn't bear a certain level of attack, it will be difficult to cause fundamental damage to him. Even if Chiu wanted to eliminate Majin Buu, it would take a little thought, let alone other people. P.S. Chapter 20 is over. The author has fulfilled his promise. Please subscribe and support the tired author. In addition, there should be another chapter to be updated after midnight, and the rest will be released tomorrow morning. Finally, ask for a subscription again, it would be even better if there is an automatic subscription. Advertisement. Chapter 86 The Seventh Universe Wins. 1 update, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. At this moment, Majin Buu launched an attack. Buu's strength is roughly equal to that of Goku in Super Saiyan's third state, how can Basil in front of him handle it? In a blink of an eye, he was caught by Majin Buu, who beat the whole audience flying around and ran away with his head in his arms. Seeing that he was about to lose, Basil yelled at the Ninth Supreme Kai, "Give me that. If something goes wrong, you are responsible for it." After saying that, Basil threw a black crystal towards Basil. Basil opened his mouth wide and swallowed the crystal in one gulp. Beerus asked in surprise, "What is this?" Chiu, who has read the original book, of course knows what it is, and said casually, "It's nothing, it's just a stimulant." "What?" Beerus yelled, and then protested to Grand Priest, "Grand Priest, they use drugs to improve their skills, it's not fair to us." After taking the medicine, Basil's breath soared and he turned into a muscular and strong werewolf. Seeing this scene, the two countries sighed happily at the same time, "It's so interesting. It's amazing." Grand Priest glanced at Zeno's reaction, then turned to Beerus and said, "It seems that Master Zeno is not dissatisfied with Basil's actions, and the game will continue as usual." Advertisement. Hearing what the Grand Priest said, Beerus could only knock out his teeth and swallow it in his stomach. Give him 100 guts, but he doesn't dare to disturb Zeno's interest directly. At this time, Basil launched an attack again. After taking the medicine, Basil's strength and speed were more than doubled, and he instantly became a powerful warrior. Majin Buu was actually crushed by Basil's explosive hammer, and was directly driven into the ground. Beerus in the stands was sweating profusely. Although it was just a skirmish, as long as it was Master Zeno's order, he couldn't neglect it. If Zeno is unhappy and feels that his own people have beaten badly, then the entire seventh universe will suffer accordingly. At this moment, Chiu said, "Don't worry, it's okay. Although Majin Buu is indeed weak, it's not something that rubbish can defeat." The ninth universe gods of destruction was furious. "Who are you? How dare you call my warrior a garbage?" Chiu sneered. "Not only your warrior, but your entire universe is rubbish." In fact, what Chiu said was right, among all the 12 universes, the ninth universe was originally at the bottom. As soon as Chiu finished speaking, Majin Buu crawled out from the bottom of the ring. His whole head was hammered into the neck at this point, but for Majin Buu, it wasn't a big deal. He pulled his neck with both hands and pulled it hard, pulling his head out of his body. Generally speaking, the head is the key point of a person, but the guy in front of him was not injured even though his entire head was smashed. This is what makes the ninth universe the most frightening. Advertisement. You are amazing. Majin Buu also praised Basil, then put his hands together and started to gather Ki Blast. He said again, "But I am even stronger." After all, a dazzling purple beam of light shot out from Majin Buu's hands, engulfing Basil's figure directly. Ki Blast caused an explosion in the stands, which far surpassed Basil before, and the entire ring was divided into 2 pieces. Goku raised his hand and looked towards the ring, sighed, "Yeah. You won't kill him, will you?" The smoke dissipated, Basil walked out from the smoke, and then fell powerlessly on the ring. Until the end, there was a vicious grin on his face. Grand Priest announced, "This is the 7th universe victory, please invite the following players to play." The 7th universe sent Son Gohan, and the 9th universe sent the yellow werewolf Rabunda. Rabunda is good at using poison and is the second brother of the dangerous trio, but in fact he is not very good at it. Seeing such a fight made Chiu drowsy, so he took out snacks and comics from the universal capsule, and sat in the auditorium while reading a book and eating snacks. Son Goku said, "Why didn't you watch it?" Chiu said, "It's just 3 bad things and 3 bad things, what's the point?" The 9th universe gods of destruction is even more angry, smelly bald head. "Who do you say is a scumbag? One trash." Chiu glanced at him, and then ignored the 9th universe being killed by the bad god. Meanwhile, Champa and 6th universe were not watching the game, their full attention was on Chiu. Advertisement. Of course, those who have fought against Chiu know that this casually dressed bald head is the biggest whole card of the 7th universe, a super warrior that is difficult to defeat even if they destroy Shendu. Champa said to Hit beside him, "Have you thought of a way to defeat him?" Hit was not as unlucky as Vegeta, at least he was injured and God helped him heal. Although the injury recovered, Chiu's terror deepened in Hit's heart. Hit said, "The only way now is to rely on the power of other universes. Let alone defeating him, it is impossible to even break through his defense. But the competition system, maybe we can leave him behind ring." Champa bit her nails and remained silent. The dangerous trio of Universe 9 was a bunch of chickens and dogs, and it didn't take long for them to be defeated by Goku and Gohan. At this time, Grand Priest said, the 7th universe has won the preliminaries. Up to now, all the warm-up matches for the Tournament of Power are over. Now I want to announce that the universes participating in the Tournament of Power, except for the 1st, 12th, except for the 5th and 8th universes, all other universes must participate. The 9th universe Gods of Destruction was very puzzled. Why can the 4 universes not participate in the conference? Before Grand Priest could answer, Chiu, who was reading a comic book, said, because they are strong enough, you idiots. In the eyes of Zeno and Grand Priest, we are all universes with insufficient average strength. Even if we are destroyed, it doesn't matter much. Chiu's words caused a commotion in the audience, and everyone looked up at Grand Priest, waiting for his answer. Unexpectedly, Grand Priest didn't intend to explain at all, and said directly, just like what the bald player said, Master Zeno thinks that there are too many universes now, and the universes with low strength should be eliminated. Damn, this is too unacceptable. Is it because of this reason that we are going to be destroyed? P.S. Continue to explode and start today, with a minimum of 5 updates and a maximum of 10. Continuous explosions for half a month. Please subscribe, please automatically. Advertisement. Chapter 87 Zeno. Get down and die. 2 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. At this moment, Beerus stood up, clenched his fists and said loudly, Master Grand Priest, are you sure our universe is not one of the top 4 universes? On my side, there is Chiu, the big devil. No matter how low the other people's strength is, Chiu can still raise the average combat power by himself. Grand Priest said, if you don't count this bald man, the average strength of your warrior ranks second to last in all universes. Beerus said, what if you include him? Grand Priest said, it's hard to say, but it should be ranked among the 4 strongest universes. The Grand Priest's words made everyone gasp, and the players and gods from all universes turned their attention to Chiu, who was reading comics in the auditorium. It's hard to imagine that this slovenly man in casual clothes can pull universe, which is the second to last in terms of combat effectiveness, to the top 4 by himself. But no matter how everyone observes, they can't find the shadow of a strong man in Chiu. Grand Priest, are you kidding me? That is, did you make a mistake? Is this man as strong as you said? He doesn't feel angry, just like a common man. Point 603. Advertisement. At this moment, Beerus interrupted everyone's uproar and said to Grand Priest, then why can't he be included? The powerhouses in every universe don't believe in Chiu's strength, but that doesn't mean Beerus doesn't believe it. After so many battles, everyone in the 7th universe has no doubts about Chiu's strength. If Chiu is counted, they will be squeezed into the top 4 of the 12 universes, and they don't need to participate in this tournament of power anymore. Grand Priest said, but you only have 3 players, Son Goku, Son Gohan, and Buu. The sabotage Shendu who came here today brought 3 players. Our calculations are based on these 3 players. Damn it. Beerus regretted endlessly. If he had known that Chiu had also been reported, he would not have to participate in the power tournament. After explaining Beerus' question, the priest Yin read out the rules and time of Beerus. Then he said, please prepare hard, and strive to bring a wonderful game to Mr. Zeno. At this moment, a contestant covered in black cloth jumped down from the 11th universe auditorium, pointed at Son Goku and said, I know I'm being rude, but the justice in my heart makes me unable to tolerate Son Goku. Goku is an evil man who put all the universes in crisis. This man is the bearded Toppo. Toppo is the 2nd strongest player in the 11th universe, second only to Jiren in strength, and is also the next backup of the 11th universe, Gods of Destruction. In a sense, he and Chiu are peers. Just then, a voice came from the stands. You seem to have found the wrong target. It's not that Son Goku wants to destroy all the universes, why are you attacking him? If you really want to eliminate the bad guys who threaten the universe, you should change your target, such as the one sitting on the stage too. At some point, Chiu appeared on the ring and pointed his finger at Zeno at the top of the stands. Advertisement. Like Chiu said, it wasn't Son Goku who really wanted to eliminate the universe, but Zeno and the Grand Priest. Everyone knows this truth, but no one dares to reveal the truth. Chiu's words made the audience fall into silence. A drop of sweat fell from the chins of Beerus and Supreme Kai, and fell to the ground. However, Chiu was not prepared to stop there. He added, in fact, everyone here thinks so, but you dare not say it. Because Zeno and Grand Priest are too powerful, you dare not compete with them, so you can only vent your anger on the seemingly weak on Goku. Beerus yelled hysterically. Chiu, shut up, what are you talking about, CCDB? Chiu ignored Beerus. He looked at Toppo who was already on the spot and said, in this case, what kind of justice do you call yourself? You are just a clown who is good at bullying the weak. The real hero is not like you. Speaking of this, a figure emerged in Chiu's mind. He was wearing cheap tights and a cape, and had the same hairstyle as himself. Yes, the man who will not be swayed by any voice or difficulty, and who is impeccable from strength to heart, is the real hero. As long as he is here, no matter how powerful the disaster is, nothing can stop him from punching him, and no amount of slander can shake him in the slightest. Compared to Saitama, Toppo is really just a clown. Toppo, who was going to fight Son Goku, suddenly fell to his knees, motionless like a sculpture, as if he had lost his soul. In just a few minutes, Chiu's words had already shattered his faith. Then tell me, what a real hero should be like. It should be like this. Advertisement. After all, Chiu did something that everyone thought was crazy. He pointed to the Grand Priest and the two Zeno, then pointed to the ring under his feet, and suddenly shouted, "Get down and die." Crazy. Really crazy. Chiu's roar reverberated in the empty arena, and shocked everyone's souls. People from various universes were dumbfounded, not daring to make a sound. That bald head was standing there. He was rebellious, he was free and easy, and his small body seemed to carry a power that could break through everything. That power makes people uneasy, because it makes people frightened. Beerus almost exhausted all his strength and yelled at Chiu. "Chiu, if you provoke Zeno, you will destroy the entire 7th universe, don't you think about Taisi?" Chiu said. "Taisi is not that kind of girl, if I shrink back at this time, Taisi will look down on me." Grand Priest looked at Zeno, and saw that the two children on the throne were not only not angry, but curious and excited expressions appeared in their eyes. The two Zeno said, "Fight, I want to see Grand Priest fighting with the big bald head." Grand Priest coughed twice, and then said, "Master Zeno, I still have to prepare the venue for the martial arts tournament. If I go to a duel with someone, then the Power Emperor conference cannot be formalized." Quote. "Well, it seems to be the same." Zeno on the left nodded. "Then wait until the tournament of power is over, and then you can fight again." Zeno on the right said happily. Advertisement. Chapter 88. Gather companions and fight in the power conference. 3 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. What a pity. What a pity. The two Zeno spoke separately like children. The Grand Priest was a little awkward. He turned his head to look at Chiu and said, "Did you hear that, bald player? Master Zeno said that if the 7th universe wins the tournament of power, I will fight with you as an extra reward." "Of course, I will remember your promise." Chiu stared at the Grand Priest for a while, and after a long time, he slowly walked back to the auditorium where he was. The hearts of Beerus and the others were hanging in their throats. Seeing that no irreparable horror happened, Beerus, Satan and the others hugged each other and wept bitterly. "Great, we survived. My God, I will definitely not be able to bring Chiu out again in the future, it's too scary." In the stands of the first universe, Gods of Destruction Ivan was communicating with Supreme Kai beside him. The first Supreme Kai said, "This man is really desperate." Ivan said, "However, I really admire his courage. He even dared to challenge Zeno and Grand Priest. Only such a man can single-handedly pull the entire universe to the top of the whole universe." Quote. The first Supreme Kai said disdainfully, "What's the big deal? In fact, we came here today just for a formality, and we didn't bring out the truly powerful warrior. Otherwise, how could it be this bald guy's turn to show off his might? The first universe is called the Supreme Universe, and the 12th universe is called the Ultimate Universe." Advertisement. These two universes are twins, just like the 7th and 6th universes. These two universes were born the earliest, so they are also the most powerful, and a few of them even surpassed Grand Priest. I'm not talking nonsense, as I said in the comics, Grand Priest only ranks 5th. There are too many animation adaptations, but I still respect Akira Toriyama's original work. Don't spray it if you don't like it. Ivan said. Actually, you don't know, the favorite of Grand Priest and Zeno is such a brave and fearless guy. What? The first time Supreme Kai exclaimed, but Ivan said, "Let's go, and then we won't care about our business. Wait for me." After all, the first universe also disappeared in place. At this time, the 11th universe Gods of Destruction Vermut also came to the field and helped Toppo up. "Ready to leave, Toppo, you have to cheer up, the next strength conference still needs your strength." "Yes, Lord Vermut. Don't pay attention to that bald head, you are the future Gods of Destruction of the 11th universe." Toppo stood up, but Chiu's words still echoed in his mind. Afterwards, all the major universes left the Void World one after another, and only Grand Priest was left alone, still using his divine power to arrange the venue. After returning to Earth, Beerus hadn't recovered from the fright just now, and a pair of cat ears were twitching lifelessly. Son Goku is heartless, he doesn't care what happened just now, he said to himself. Really, I have to wait for more than 40 hours, I can't wait to fight against the strong. Quote. You idiot. Speaking of this, Beerus was furious. If it weren't for you, why would you cause so many troubles? Have you decided on the contestants? Our 7th universe has the second to last combat power. Advertisement. Son Goku counted with his fingers. Me, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, number 18, Majin Buu, Teacher Wushan, and the Bald Devil. No matter how you count, there is still one person missing. When Chiu was mentioned, Beerus became even more angry, and shouted, then hurry up and find me. Yes, yes, yes. Having been together for so long, Son Goku certainly knows that Beerus in this state cannot be messed with. So he hurriedly soared into the air and disappeared in place. The powerhouses of the 7th universe are basically concentrated on the Earth. It is not difficult to find suitable candidates. Son Goku thought for a while, and he had a goal in mind. So he used instant transmission and immediately appeared on Guaxian Island. On the one hand, he came here to persuade the Krillin couple, and on the other hand, he also wanted to track down the whereabouts of number 17. As the twin brother of number 18, number 17 also has impressive strength, which is very suitable for this power conference. Asking for flowers. Goku, why are you here? At this time, Krillin had just got off work from the police station, and as soon as he put down his helmet, he saw Son Goku suddenly appearing. Son Goku rubbed his head and said, I'm here to invite everyone to the Tournament of Power. Krillin said, what is the Tournament of Power? Son Goku exaggeratedly urged, it's a martial arts tournament similar to the number 1 Budokai in the world, but this time it gathers experts from various universes, and you can meet all kinds of powerful guys. Son Goku thinks it's attractive, but that's only for him. Advertisement. Krillin said, I'm sorry Goku, I have given up my identity as a martial artist. Now that I am a father, I can't fight like I used to. Son Goku anxiously said, the winner of the power tournament can get a Super Dragon Ball. Super Dragon Ball. It's a Dragon Ball that can make any wish come true, much more powerful than Earth's Dragon Ball. Hearing that wishes can come true, number 18 also became interested. She put down the child in her hands and said to Goku, is it true that any wish can come true? Goku said, of course, this is a competition held by the gods of the universe. Number 18 thought for a while, and then said to Krillin, actually, I have always wanted to travel with my family. Since you've said that, in fact, Krillin didn't want to participate in this kind of martial arts tournament. He had died many times for the sake of the Earth. As Goku's strength is getting stronger and stronger, Krillin has basically nothing to do with it. However, Krillin is still unwilling. He remembered that back then, he and Goku practiced together under Master Roshi Wushan, grew up together, and witnessed countless Earth crises together. As a native Earthling, he has his own pride. Krillin has never given up his mission as a martial artist. After all, he was once the strongest Earthling. Mountain. Advertisement. Chapter 89 Krillin Apprenticeship to Chiu. For more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Krillin is a good husband, and since 18th had a request, he had to agree. Afterwards, Goku asked number 18 about the movements of number 17, and then jumped into the air. Then I'll go find number 17 first. Goodbye. After Goku left, Krillin fell into deep thought. 18th also noticed Krillin's uneasiness, took her husband's hand and said, if you don't want to go, let's talk to Goku again. Krillin said, if you want to participate, you can participate. It's okay. But after all, I'm just an Earthling, and I'm afraid I won't be able to bring good help to the battle situation. Number 18 said, you have to have confidence in yourself, isn't the bald-headed devil also a person from Earth? But now everyone is saying that he is the most powerful person in the universe. 443, that's right. The big bald devil. Krillin was shocked, and then said to number 18, wait a minute, number 18. After saying that, Krillin used flying technique to fly up. Where did you go? Go and find the big bald devil. Before number 18 dissuaded him, Krillin turned into a beam of light and flew towards the mansion of Bree's family. That's right, since the bald devil can become the strongest in the universe as a person on Earth, then he must have a cultivation method suitable for people on Earth. Advertisement. As long as the bald devil is willing to help him, then he will definitely be able to improve his combat effectiveness. Krillin's speed was very fast, and after 2 hours, he found the pressure. Chiu, who is bored in every way, is reading comics and drinking drinks in his luxurious and invincible Seaview villa, and then enjoying Taisei's service. Among other things, Taisei's technique was really good, and Chiu lay on the beach chair happily, almost falling asleep comfortably. At this moment, Krillin fell from the sky. Chiu asked, why are you here? Krillin hesitated for a moment, then suddenly knelt down and put his head on the ground and said, Master Chiu. Please accept me as a disciple. I hope to be as strong as you. Chiu himself can't even explain where his power comes from, let alone recruit disciples. Asking him to teach his apprentices, he can only teach which comics are good looking and which brand of snacks tastes better. But Krillin is a different kind of guy. If it is this guy, Chiu can really help. Although not as talented as Saiyan, you and Son Goku have experienced so many battles together. If you don't count Chiu, Krillin is definitely the strongest Earthling with iron plate. It's just that Krillin is timid and afraid of getting into trouble by nature, so he can't show his strength. Seeing Krillin's sincerity, Chiu didn't mind helping him for a while. But it's fine to accept apprentices. With this talent, going out in the future can only embarrass yourself. Krillin, in fact, you are already very strong, and you have basically reached the limit of the people on Earth. But you can't exert your strength, so you can't always defeat the enemy. Advertisement. I can't exert my strength. Krillin looked up, looked at his hands and asked again, why? Chiu stood up, then raised his head towards Krillin. Master Chiu, what are you doing? Don't. At this moment, Chiu suddenly punched Krillin. I have seen the destructive force of the bald devil. Krillin, even Dabra and Vegeta were killed by his punch, let alone himself. Krillin covered his face in fright and trembled all over. Chiu's fist got closer and closer, and finally landed on Krillin's body. Contrary to imagination, this punch was very light, and only slightly touched Krillin's head. Krillin opened his eyes, looked at Chiu who retracted his fist and said, you are. Chiu clasped his hands and said, my punch was light and slow. But you didn't dodge or block it, why? Because you were afraid, you thought my punch would kill you. You don't have Vegeta and Son Goku's talent is still second, and the more important thing is that you don't have their will to sacrifice your life for the sake of fighting. So the key to becoming stronger is not to improve your energy and physique, but to strengthen yourself the spirit of. Krillin said, then what should I do? Chiu didn't answer Krillin's question, but said an irrelevant sentence. I heard from Beerus that there is a very delicious fish on the planet Wangxing in the southern border. But it has a ferocious temperament and is difficult to catch. I've always wanted to try it. Ah, Lord Chiu, I don't understand what you mean. Chiu smiled sinisterly. You'll know right away. Yep, Krillin figured it out right away. Advertisement. 5 minutes later, they came to the southern boundary of Wangxing. Chiu used a thick tree trunk as a fishing rod, then found a strong rope as a fishing line, and started fishing. As for the bait, it was poor Krillin. A giant fish with a size like a sea monster leapt out of the sea, then opened its bloody mouth, and bit Krillin. The teeth of the strange fish shone coldly, and Krillin could already smell the bad breath of the giant fish. Master Chiu, please let me go, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Seeing that Krillin was about to be cut in half by sharp teeth, Chiu pulled the rope suddenly, allowing Krillin to barely escape. Chiu laughed and said, since you can't overcome your fear, you can only get used to it. Krillin, you have to understand my painstaking efforts. If you want to become stronger, this is the best way. Don't break free from the rope, don't use the flying technique either. 5.2. Here it comes again, my mother. At this moment, the strange fish came out of the water again and bit Krillin. Chiu pulled the fishing rod again, and then said, it's okay, there are still 40 hours before the power conference, we have plenty of time. I don't play anymore. I don't want to become stronger. I don't like to give up halfway when I do things, you should bear with it. Remember, if you break free from the rope or use the flying technique, I will kill you directly. I don't lie to you. Chiu snorted coldly. Thus, Krillin was treated as bait by Chiu, tortured cruelly by Chiu, and underwent hellish training. Similarly, his strength improved rapidly. P.S. Starting from the 5th shift today, at least the 8th shift. Advertisement. Chapter 90 Sad Frieza. 5 updates, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. While Chiu was fishing with Krillin, the gods of the 4th universe were quarreling fiercely. That guy named Chiu is absolutely invincible. The Grand Priest has said that he can raise the average combat power of the 7th universe to the level of the top 4 in the entire universe by himself. And I heard that he is also the backup gods of destruction of the 7th universe, and his strength is comparable to Beerus. What's the use of talking about the strength of the enemy? No matter how strong we are, we must defeat them, otherwise our universe will be wiped out by Master Zeno. It's easy to say, how do you let us defeat such an enemy? Enough. At this moment, the gods of destruction sitting at the top of the hall suddenly shouted loudly, stopping the dispute among his subordinates. The 4th gods of destruction is called Quatella. It is a large humanoid mouse. He looked at his subordinates and said, are you all idiots? Since the warrior named Chiu cannot be defeated, let's find a way to prevent him from going up. Isn't it all right? Can't play. Quatella said. The Tournament of Power is a competition for 10 people, isn't it? If Beerus suddenly finds that his team members are not enough when the competition is approaching, what do you think will happen? The fourth Supreme Kai said. They will be eliminated directly. Quatella sneered. You are right, they will be eliminated and then eliminated by Zeno. In this way, no matter how strong that Chiu is, there is no threat. The fourth Supreme Kai's eyes lit up, and he asked again. Then how should we reduce the number of warriors in the 7th universe before the match? Advertisement. Quatella stretched out his finger, and a large destructive energy appeared in the hall. Immediately afterwards, Kutra put it into a bottle and said, Who is the weakest in the 7th universe, have you figured it out? The fourth Supreme Kai said. There are still 3 that have not been confirmed, but according to the existing information, the weakest warrior we know should be an earthling named Krillin. Send someone to kill him. As he said, Quatella threw the bottle in his hand to Supreme Kai and said, Just in case, take this bottle with you, it contains half of my destructive energy. Yes, Lord Terra. Meanwhile, Son Goku and the gods of the 7th universe are gathering to worry. After successfully persuading number 17 to join, the original manpower should be enough, but at this moment, Majin Buu, who was originally scheduled to participate, fell asleep. According to Satan, once Majin Buu fell asleep, he would basically be in a state of being unable to wake up no matter how much he beat or hammered. In desperation, everyone had to re-elect. Goku said, Master Supreme Kai, you have been observing the entire universe, can't you find a powerful person? Supreme Kai said embarrassedly, I'm sorry, combat power is not my main direction of observation, so I don't know who is strong and who is weak. Beerus complained to Supreme Kai, It's all your fault, if you didn't say to let the life of the entire universe develop freely, how could we have fallen to this point? Hearing what Beerus said, even the good-tempered Supreme Kai couldn't help it, and said angrily, You still have the face to accuse me, you haven't been sleeping all the time. Seeing that the 2 gods were about to start fighting each other, Son Goku clapped his hands and said, I figured it out, there must be one person who can do it. Who is it? Universe Emperor Frieza. What? Advertisement. Everyone's eyes widened. In the 7th universe, Frieza's degree of danger is second only to Chiu, and he is an unscrupulous devil. Once this guy is released from hell, many problems may arise. So Beerus said, Goku, are you sure you can convince Frieza? Goku said, I think there should be no problem. Beerus was still hesitating, but the old Supreme Kai said, There is only one day until the Tournament of Power, now we don't have time to think about it slowly, let Goku go. Under all kinds of scoundrels, everyone can only agree with Son Goku's proposal, and then send him to hell to find Frieza. After getting the consent, Son Goku directly used instant transmission to arrive at the location of the divination mother-in-law. Goku, why are you here again? According to the fortune-telling mother-in-law's experience, meeting Son Goku will definitely not be a good thing. If it's not that the earth is going to be destroyed, or a certain big devil is coming, otherwise Son Goku won't run to her for help. Son Goku rubbed the back of his head and laughed, Actually, I want to ask you for help. Sure enough, the divination mother-in-law was displeased and said, Did you bring a gift? Son Goku left in a hurry, of course empty-handed. But since the divination mother-in-law asked, Son Goku can't say that he didn't bring it. He is an adult anyway, and he understands this bit of worldliness. Of course I did. After that, Son Goku began to fumble around, finally found a button. Grandma, this is for you. Advertisement. What's this? This is the button that Master Zeno gave me to summon him. The divination mother-in-law took the button in her hand and looked at it, and asked, Who is Zeno? Immediately afterwards, Son Goku told her mother-in-law that Zeno would hold a power tournament and eliminate all the universes. At this time, the divination mother-in-law was about to test what the 797 button could summon, and her fingers were less than an inch away from the button. After hearing what Son Goku said, she was so frightened that she quickly threw the button back. Son Goku, are you trying to kill me by giving me such a dangerous thing? Son Goku quickly caught the button and said, I'm sorry, but I didn't bring anything else. The divination mother-in-law said with a headache, Forget it, I'll help you see Frieza, I won't dare to accept your things from now on. It's really terrible. Communication between yin and yang is a good thing for divination mothers-in-law. After a while, Son Goku appeared in hell and met the king of Hades. After explaining his purpose, Yama sent someone to take Son Goku to a sea of flowers. Frieza can be said to be the saddest villain, especially after Chiu came. Not long after he regained his strength, he turned into a golden Frieza, and just wanted to pretend in front of the Earthlings, but he was punched by Chiu, which can be said to be extremely miserable. After being beaten to death by Chiu, he found himself tied to the flower sea tree at the bottom of the abyss of hell by something like a silkworm cocoon. Then a group of angel bears and rabbits beat gongs, drums and songs in his ears every day. For Frieza, this is the real hell. Advertisement. Chapter 91 The Fourth Universe's Assassination. 6 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. At this moment, Frieza had a gloomy face. Beside him, a group of little angels are surrounding him, singing happily. No. This disgusting scent of flowers, these nasty angels, I will kill you, I will destroy everything. Frieza roared angrily to the sky, endless resentment erupted from him, the huge evil power could almost annihilate any good food in an instant. However, the angel bears are still beating the drums. At this time, Son Goku appeared. He raised his palm and greeted Frieza. Yo. Frieza, it seems you are doing well in hell. Seeing the person coming, Frieza, who was already on the verge of exploding, became even more furious, and shouted. Son Goku, you dare to come to hell to laugh at me, I will kill you too, I will kill all human beings. I'm not here to laugh at you. Facing a dangerous person like Frieza, even with Son Goku's big heart, he had to be careful. Son Goku told Frieza his reason for coming, and then said, if you agree to participate in the Universe Power Tournament, I will put you down. Otherwise, once you lose the Power Tournament, you will follow us and be eliminated by Zeno. Frieza let out a sinister smile, and then said, I can help you, but you must promise me to use the Dragon Ball to help me revive. Son Goku doesn't want this guy to come back to the world, but the situation is urgent, so Son Goku can only be honest. The prize of the Power Tournament is the Super Dragon Ball, if you want to resurrect. Go and win the prize yourself. Advertisement. Just when Son Goku persuaded Frieza, Chiu and Krillin faced a new crisis. After more than 10 hours of baptism of fear, Krillin was numb at this time. He stared blankly at the surface of the sea, and even when the strange fish came to bite him, he remained motionless. At this moment, Chiu suddenly looked up at the sky, and a black vortex was slowly forming in the air. After a while, a group of masked people jumped out of the vortex. The leading masked man asked, which of you is Kling? Degree. Chiu pointed to Krillin on the rope and said, do you have anything to do with him? Talk chatter, we are here to kill him. Chiu laughed and said, that's really great. Just now we can test our practice results, so it's decided to be you, go. Super Klingmon. After saying that, Chiu pulled Krillin off the rope, and then kicked Krillin's ass. The drowsy Krillin was awakened by the pain, then stopped in the air, clutched his buttocks and said, why did you hit me? Chiu pointed to those humans in the sky and said, these guys are here to kill you, just to let you try the tail. 11. Krillin was shocked. What are you talking about? They are here to kill me. Chiu pointed, and said, Klin, you have to believe in yourself, you are no longer Klin, but a super Klin beast. Go ahead, let them see how powerful you are. Advertisement. Krillin looked at his hands and asked, have I really become stronger? The masked assassin leader said, what a pathetic guy. He is about to die, and he doesn't know his situation yet. Come on everyone, Lord Gods of Destruction will definitely reward us well. The strength of the universe is directly proportional to the birth time. Generally speaking, the longer the universe exists, the higher the evolutionary level of life, and the easier it is for strong people to emerge. Because of this, the first and 12th twin universes are the strongest among all universes, because they are the earliest universes born. The 6th and 7th universes were born the latest, so they are also the easiest to be looked down upon. According to the survey, Kling is the weakest player in the 7th universe, isn't it easy to deal with this kind of guy? At this moment, the assassins rushed forward and attacked Kling. However, Krillin's strength greatly exceeded their expectations. Just a face-to-face, Kling punched like the wind, shooting down all the assassins closest to him. During the battle, Krillin Ming clearly felt that something had changed. A strange feeling surged from his body, and Peng Bai's energy spread along his body and spread to all limbs. His speed is getting faster and faster, and his strength is getting stronger and stronger, even surpassing himself as a martial artist. After knocking a large group of assassins into the air again, Kling stopped. He looked at his hands in disbelief and said, this is my power. Chiu said, of course this is your own power, but you in the past couldn't use it at all. As a warrior, every time you encounter an attack, you always think about how to dodge, and when you see the enemy, you want to escape. You can't control yourself like this. Kling turned his head and said, then why am I different now? Advertisement. Chiu said, because your fear of death has become numb. In the past 10 hours, you have been on the verge of life and death all the time. After this period of time, your spirit and body have become accustomed to dancing with death, that's why such power can be erupted. Let's not talk about it, your enemies are coming, go and deal with them. Hearing Chiu's words, Krillin was overjoyed, and then took the initiative to rush towards the enemy. He fought more and more bravely, and gradually a faint flame appeared on his body. Although it was pitifully thin, it was indeed a symbol of God's power. Compared with Goku and others, Kling has inherent disadvantages. He can't get a physical body like Saiyan, let alone have such a powerful chi, but this doesn't mean he can't reach the same state as them. In fact, as long as Son Goku has experienced battles, he has experienced most of them. These experiences and auras have been stored in his body, but they have not been activated. The warrior, Wang Nuohao, of the fourth universe was originally a group of soft-legged shrimps, and the one who was sent to be an assassin was even worse. Under the crazy attack of the Super Klin beast, he quickly became disorganized. Seeing Klin's bravery, the leader of assassin couldn't believe it. What's the matter with the spy? How can such a guy be the weakest warrior in the 7th African universe? Krillin knocked the last minion away, put his hands on his hips and said, HMPH. Guys like you are not worth mentioning in front of me now. Damn it, do you think it's over? We've already prepared for it. After all, the leader of assassin took out a small bottle, and said to Klin, no matter how powerful you are, it is impossible to survive in front of this, which contains half the destructive energy of Lord Gods of Destruction Quitella. Let's go, Earthlings. The leader opened the cork, and a black ball of light rushed out of the bottle, and it became bigger and bigger. Delete. Advertisement. Chapter 92. Go to the 4th universe. 7 more. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. After all, the leader of assassin took out a small bottle, and said to Klin, no matter how powerful you are, it is impossible to survive in front of this. It contains half of the destructive energy of Lord Gods of Destruction Quitella. Let's go, Earthlings. The leader opened the cork, and a black ball of light rushed out of the bottle, and it became bigger and bigger. With half the energy of a Gods of Destruction, let alone killing a human being, it is possible to destroy the entire galaxy. Krillin looked at the mass of energy, and the fear of death that he had just overcome emerged from his heart again, making his face pale with fright. Everyone understands that once this mass of energy is released, Krillin's death is a foregone conclusion. Unfortunately, the white-collar assassin met Chiu. Seeing this mass of energy, Chiu finally became angry. If he hadn't happened to be present, once this energy ball was released, the whole earth would be turned into fly ash in an instant, and Taisi, who had just married with him, would surely die in this disaster. Your 4th universe's Gods of Destruction seems to have crossed the line a bit. Chiu's tone became cold, but the assassin leader didn't know Chiu's terror. He held up the energy ball and said, you dare to talk about Mr. Quitella, you really don't know how to live. Klin 513, stand behind me and throw it. Hearing Chiu's words, Krillin quickly hid behind Chiu. Immediately afterwards, Chiu raised his right hand to the assassin leader. Mortal, what are you thinking? Are you still trying to resist the power of breaking back to God? Advertisement. At this moment, a deep black light also appeared in Chiu's hand, and that breath was exactly the same as the energy ball of the leader of assassin. The assassin leader was shocked and said, impossible. How could you use the power of Gods of Destruction? Chiu asked. What is impossible? The leader of assassin snorted coldly, and quickly regained his composure. Stupid, even if it's also destructive energy, how can your backup Gods of Destruction surpass the official Gods of Destruction? Go to hell. After finishing speaking, the leader of assassin threw the energy ball in his hand towards Chiu and Klin. At this moment, the black light in Chiu's hand suddenly exploded, forming a giant energy ball with a diameter of hundreds of meters. Compared with the one of Quitella, it is more than 10 times bigger. As soon as Chiu let go, the destructive energy ball rushed out, directly devouring Quitella's energy ball. CCDE. The leader of assassin was dumbfounded, all the bottles in his hands fell to the ground, but he forgot to pick them up. He suddenly remembered the previous rumors that there was a human being in the 7th universe who was stronger than Gods of Destruction, and this guy even had a punch against the Grand Priest and survived. Could this be the guy in front of you? No, you can't fight, run. The assassin leader turned around and wanted to escape, but Chiu appeared behind him at some point and put his arm on his shoulder. Chiu's cold voice came from his ears. If you want to survive, take me to the 4th universe set. The assassin leader turned his stiff neck, slowly turned his head to look at Chiu and said, as long as I take you to the 4th universe, you really won't kill me. You'd better move fast before I change my mind. Yes, my lord. Advertisement. After all, at this moment the leader took out a strange instrument, and then summoned a vortex. These people came to the 7th universe through this vortex just now. If nothing else happened, the leader of assassins should not have lied to himself. Chiu carried Krillin and said, you wait for me here, and I'll come back as soon as I go. Krillin trembled slightly. Where are you going? Chiu said. Of course it is to settle accounts with the Gods of Destruction of the 4th universe. After finishing speaking, Chiu jumped into the whirlpool with the assassin leader in hand. The fourth universe is the assassination universe. All the powerful people in the whole world are basically assassins, even gods of destruction. Quitella's Gods of Destruction planet is a cloud-shrouded valley where there is no sunlight all day long, which complements Quitella's gloomy personality. Now Quitella and others are still gathered in the main hall, waiting for the upcoming good news. In any case, Quitella gave half of his energy anyway. It would be ridiculous if he couldn't even kill a mortal. The thing he needs to think about now is how he should explain it to the Grand Priest if Beerus makes trouble for himself. Grand Priest is a shrewd man, not to be fooled. At this moment, a vortex appeared on the main hall, and the fourth Supreme Kai said, "Here we come." Quitella yawned and said, "Really, why did it take so long to deal with a mortal? I fell asleep and waited out. Don't worry, I only need a second to process your entire universe, and I won't keep you waiting any longer." A cold voice came from the vortex, and a bald man in casual clothes walked out of the void carrying the assassin leader that Quitella had just sent. "Who are you?" Seeing Chiu's appearance, Quitella's expression changed drastically immediately. He was also there when Chiu challenged the Grand Priest, who was the bald man in the natural way, and looking at the leader of the assassin in Chiu's hand, Quitella immediately understood what happened. Advertisement. Quitella said. "Smelly bald head, you are quite courageous, how dare you break into my palace?" Chiu smashed the assassin leader to the ground, and said, "Sorry, I don't think it takes a lot of courage to break into your palace." Quitella sneered and said, "I'm still thinking about how to deal with you. I didn't expect you to come here alone to seek death. It seems that I'm lucky." Quitella really doesn't know where Chiu got the courage to challenge their entire fourth universe alone. Does this bald man think that he alone can compete against the masters of the entire universe plus him, gods of destruction? It's just life and death. The current situation is that Chiu came to the base camp of the fourth universe alone. In order to prepare for the power tournament, the top 10 powerhouses of the fourth universe gathered here. In Quitella's view, Chiu is looking for death. The bald head of the seventh universe, you're too discreet. Dare to come to the fourth universe to provoke gods of destruction, court death. I'm going to crush you later. All the powerhouses of the fourth universe stared at Chiu and let out sinister laughter. In the dark hall, a tiny life invisible to the naked eye walked out from the crowd, and slowly approached the squeeze. P.S. Chapter 7. Thanks to the big guys who have been subscribing and supporting, but I don't want to thank the trolls in the book review area. As long as you speak well, the author will generally accept your opinions, but I will only scold them back and ban them from the beginning to the end. Word. Advertisement. Chapter 93 Massacre the Fourth Universe. 8 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Insect Man Warrior Damon is the smallest warrior in the fourth universe. Even though he is small, he is actually the trump card of the fourth universe. This guy is so small that it is almost invisible to the naked eye, but it has powerful strength and extraordinary speed, so it is very difficult to deal with. In the original work, in order to defeat this little thing, Son Goku and others tried countless ways. In the end, Piccolo hit the ground so hard that it became unstable, and it was knocked out of the field by number 17. Otherwise, even if Goku and Vegeta become super blue gods, there is nothing they can do about him. Seeing that Chiu didn't respond, Damon was overjoyed, and then suddenly became violent and launched an attack. Successful. The fourth universe knew of Damon's actions. Seeing that Saitama didn't notice, Quitella couldn't help smiling. The strength of the insect man is absolutely not proportional to its size, it is extremely terrifying. If this blow is real, even gods of destruction will be injured by it. Touch. Damon's fist hit Chiu's face heavily, and the whole hall shook violently because of this blow, collecting a lot of dust. Suffering such a violent blow, Chiu didn't even move his body, and he continued to ask Quitella, "Which one of you is going to go? Or are you going to go together?" After finishing speaking, Chiu casually slapped himself on the face, and said, "You have a lot of mosquitoes here. I hate mosquitoes." Then he took a group of insect corpses that had been beaten into a pulp from his face, and then flicked it casually, and the scene suddenly fell silent. Died. The number 1 strongman in the fourth universe, the insect man Damon, just died like this. Terrible silence spread in the hall, and Chiu said impatiently, "Hurry up, I'm in a hurry to participate in the power conference. If you don't write any ink, I'll take action directly." Advertisement. Run. Someone yelled, and the warriors of the fourth universe scrambled to escape to the outside of the hall. Chiu said coldly, "Run, where are you going?" After saying that, Chiu made a dodge, directly appeared behind the first enemy, and grabbed his head with his hand. This contestant is a werewolf named Shosa, one of the contestants in the Tournament of Power. Xiao Sa's favorite skill is to play dead, but this time, his special skills can't be used. Because he was really going to die soon. Chiu squeezed his right hand, and then Xiao Sa's head burst open like a watermelon. At this time, Quatella also rushed out from the main hall and shouted, "His speed is too fast, don't run away, you can't escape. Everyone gather and go together." When Damon was beaten to death by Chiu like a mosquito, the warriors of the fourth universe were terrified. In addition, Xiao Sa was killed in a face-to-face, and everyone couldn't raise their fighting spirit. No matter how much Quatella ordered, the warriors didn't dare to look back, they only cared about running away. But just like what Quatella said, Chiu's speed is too fast, and there is no way to escape. Chiu's figure disappeared for the second time, and appeared in front of the illusionist Kelly. Kelly immediately took out the talisman paper in his arms, summoned countless clones that were exactly like him, and then proudly said to Chiu, "I'm an illusionist, even if I can't beat you, you can't find it from the clones. The real me. Farewell, Earthlings of the 7th universe." After all, Kelly's clones flew in all directions, making it hard to tell which one was her real body. Must kill series, take a serious punch. Chiu was too lazy to compete with her, so he raised his hand and punched the countless Dakali. This punch was so powerful that it directly enveloped all the clones. Advertisement. After a huge explosion, the planet gods of destruction was shattered in half. Now, there is no need to distinguish who was the real Dakali. Not only Dakali, but also several players from the 4th universe were caught in Chiu's punching wind and turned into ashes. Chiu's figure flashed again, and the contestants died one by one. The 4th gods of destruction Quatella stood there in a daze as if his strength had been exhausted, watching Chiu slaughter his warrior with blank eyes. After an unknown amount of time, there was an explosion and a stop, and a footstep appeared in front of Quatella, and Chiu was walking towards him. "You monster, die for me." Quatella was also a gods of destruction anyway, he used all his destructive power to blast out a huge destructive shock wave, and bombarded Chiu. However, Chiu casually knocked him into the air and fell outside the planet gods of destruction. This time, the entire 4th universe suffered. You must know that the destructive energy of Quatella is infinitely powerful. Although it has no effect on Chiu, it can easily destroy countless other planets. Rumble. Asking for flowers. Rumble. Rumble. The most spectacular connection explosion occurred in the deep space of the universe. That destructive energy ball, like a bomb, had a chain reaction in the universe. Countless suns, life planets, giant meteorites, all began to explode and then were destroyed. In an instant, more than half of the entire 4th universe was destroyed. Advertisement. It is not known how many lives were lost. However, the expression on Chiu's face, who indirectly caused all these tragedies, did not fluctuate in the slightest. Chiu grabbed Quatella's neck and lifted him in front of him. "Just because you are a piece of trash, you dare to fight me." At this moment, Quatella's eyes were dull, and he was already desperate. Even his full blow was no match for Chiu, and the others would simply die. Destroying Shendu didn't dare to resist at all. Not to mention King Kai and Supreme Kai, everyone can only watch from afar, not daring to come forward to rescue them. "Dirty wretch, there is a saying in my hometown, do you understand that it is not as good as your family? If you want to play tricks, I don't care, but you want to kill my newly married wife. You deserve it." At this moment, Chiu smelled a bad smell, looked down and found that Quatella was scared to pee. Chiu threw Quatella on the ground and said, "Quatella, you really disgrace gods of destruction, but don't worry, I won't kill you for now. Anyway, I have an agreement with Grand Priest, because I value this duel, so the strength I will not destroy your 4th universe before the conference." Quatella murmured, "What's the difference between you killing all my warriors and destroying the 4th universe?" "Yes, without these 10 warriors, Quatella will be eliminated by Zeno just like the 4th universe in the power conference." Chiu smiled and said, "The difference is that you can leave a little more time for you to slowly experience the fear of death approaching step by step." After finishing speaking, Chiu grabbed the assassin leader again and ordered him to open the gate of time and space for himself. Not long after, Chiu's figure disappeared on the 4th planet gods of destruction. Only the broken planets, the corpses all over the ground, and the shivering gods remained. P.S. The 8th update is over today, and tomorrow will continue to explode. There will be no less than 8th update every day this week. As long as everyone subscribes hard, the author will explode like crazy. In addition, there is another chapter to be updated in the early morning, and the remaining 2 chapters will be released tomorrow morning for 7.8 billion. Advertisement. Chapter 94 Chiu was targeted by other universes. 1 update. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. 7th universe. Looking at the scenery in front of him, Chiu was sure that he had returned to the 7th universe, so he threw the assassin leader in his hand into the dark vortex again. At this time, Krillin ran up. "Master, where did you go just now?" Chiu said. Who is your master? Don't mess with your relationship. Krillin was a little embarrassed and said, don't say that, you have indeed taught me a lot. By the way, master. The tournament of power is about to begin, let's go gather. Don't worry, there are still several hours. Chiu coughed twice, cleared his throat and said, since you call me master, I will teach you one more thing, that is, if you don't fight the battle of preparation. As the saying goes, if a worker wants to do a good job, he must first sharpen his weapon. What does it mean? In the world of Dragon Ball, there are no common sayings. Chiu's words sound like 327, and Lin Yun is in a fog. Stupid. Chiu scolded, I'm just telling you, everything needs to be prepared in advance. Krillin gave a thumbs up and said, Master is brilliant. Then let's prepare for the competition now. 3 minutes later, Chiu and Krillin appeared together in a large department store. Master, are you sure this is preparing for the conference? Chiu is pushing a shopping cart, constantly picking out snacks and comics on the shelves. Hearing Krillin's question, Chiu said, of course it's preparation, how boring is the power tournament? It's been so long, I don't prepare some snacks and comics in advance, how can I pass the time? Krillin looked at his wallet, which was almost empty, and said without tears, but why am I paying the bill? Advertisement. Chiu picked up another bag of potato chips and said, I am your master, am I not? Isn't it a kindness to you that I teach you something? It costs thousands of dollars to attend a training class these days, and I confiscated your tuition. What is this? Hurry up and pay the bill for me. Master. But I really have no money. Hey, forget it. Chiu shook his head and said, seeing that you don't earn much money as a policeman, I won't make things difficult for you. Just wait here for me, and I'll go back as soon as I go. Krillin breathed a sigh of relief. Thank you, master. After finishing speaking, Chiu pushed the shopping cart and walked towards the cash register. Krillin thought he was going to pay the bill, but turned his head to look, only to find Chiu running on the street pushing a lot of things. Not good. Krillin turned around and wanted to run away, but was stopped by 2 guards. Hello, this is the bill of the bald gentleman just now, please settle the bill. The bald devil, you bastard. Amid Krillin's screams, Chiu had already run away. Just kidding, I didn't bring a penny with me when I went out, how can I pay when you ask me to pay the bill? As a disciple, you must have filial piety. This is to help the teacher to avert disaster. Let's ask for more blessings, Kid Krillin. Krillin had been helping Chiu to pay when she just bought something, so when Chiu told the cashier and the security guard like this, no one had any doubts. Poor Krillin was abandoned in the supermarket by Chiu like this. Advertisement. Time passed by every minute. The power conference is getting closer. In the field of competition, everyone is together. Beerus tapped his thigh impatiently, complaining, why haven't Chiu and Krillin come here yet? Goku said, I heard that Krillin worshipped Lord Chiu as his teacher, and Lord Chiu took him to practice. Don't worry, Lord Beerus, the bald devil will definitely be there on time. Beerus said, but there are only a few minutes left before the start. If it weren't for Supreme Kai, they could have reached Zeno's palace in an instant, and I would have destroyed that Krillin long ago. At this time, not only the 7th universe, but the gods and warriors of other universes are also waiting for the appearance of Chiu. Anyway, this guy is the highlight of this game. Especially gods of destruction Quitella, the 4th universe temporarily formed a team in order not to be eliminated directly. Compared with the previous team, these 10 people can be said to be local chickens and dogs, and even Supreme Kai was sent to sweep the floor. Quitella is waiting for the appearance of Chiu, and then complains to the Grand Priest, only in this way can the 4th universe have a chance. In full view, Chiu arrives, wearing his signature aloha and flip-flops. But this time he went too far, pushing a shopping cart full of various snacks and comics. Beerus yelled furiously, Chiu, are you here for an outing or for the power tournament? What are you so big about? Chiu waved his hands and said, don't be so serious, normal heart, normal heart. Beerus yelled, what's normal? Where's Krillin? Advertisement. Chiu coughed twice and said, my lovely disciple has encountered the first test in his life. He must break through many obstacles before he can reach his ideal self. At that time, he will become a real strong. Damn. Hearing Chiu's words, Vegeta couldn't help gnashing his teeth. It seems that Chiu has taught Krillin a certain secret method to become stronger. In this way, wouldn't Krillin want to surpass himself, the Prince of Saiyan? Just when everyone was wondering what test Chiu had given Krillin appeared in a mess. His practice clothes were torn apart during the pulling, he looked like a beggar who failed to beg for food and was bitten by a dog. The big bald devil, you bastard. As soon as he arrived at the venue, Krillin couldn't help cursing angrily. Beerus immediately said, Krillin. What happened? So, Krillin told everyone about his tragic experience, and Beerus was furious. Chiu, you idiot, what if Krillin can't come back? The 7th universe will be eliminated. Chiu said with a righteous face. A caring master must have 100% trust in his disciples. 0.6. What should I do if I'm a little moved? Krillin suddenly reacted, and then shouted. I'm so touched, you are a rogue master. Just as Chiu and the others were fighting non-stop, a Supreme Kai let out a cold snort, and then said loudly, this is the super strong and legendary. I think Grand Priest made a mistake, the bald head is just a place home rogue. Not only this Supreme Kai, everyone present has the same opinion. As far as Chiu's performance is concerned, he really can't afford the title of the #1 strongest player in the 7th universe. Looking at all the universes, when has there been such a strong person who buys everything in the supermarket and is reckless? So in the contestant's seat, everyone began to talk about it. P.S. 1 update in the morning, and the remaining 2 updates at 7 or 8 in the morning. Everyone can watch it when they wake up, and then continue to explode the 5th update in the afternoon and evening. Advertisement. Chapter 95 The 11th Universe, Toppo and Jiren. 2 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. At this moment, Quatella stood up, pointed at Chiu and said loudly, everyone, don't be fooled by his appearance, this man is indeed a super strong man. Because just a few hours ago, he attacked Chiu by himself. The 4th universe killed all our participating warriors. Quatella's words were like flames falling into gasoline, which immediately caused an uproar in the venue. What? Killed all the warriors by one man? Just kidding. Is this guy really that strong? Quatella is powerless to stop it. Doesn't that mean that this bald head is stronger than gods of destruction? It's just too cruel and not friendly at all. Krillin was not there when the incident happened, he just knew that Chiu disappeared for a while. Could it be that in such a short period of time, he slaughtered the powerhouses of the entire 4th universe? Is there really anyone in the world who can do such a thing? Krillin couldn't believe it, but Beerus had no doubt that Chiu could really do this kind of thing, and he could also do it with his character. 22. Beerus tugged on his own dog ears, completely mad. Chiu, what stupid thing did you do again? Chiu said. I can't help it. They sent people to destroy the Earth and the entire galaxy, so I returned the gift by the way. At this time, Quatella said to Grand Priest. Now our 4th universe simply can't show enough combat power to participate in this conference. Please Grand Priest exempt us from the obligation to participate and punish the big villain Chiu. Grand Priest put his hands behind his back and said, didn't you send people to the 7th universe for assassination first? Advertisement. As soon as these words came out, the scene immediately quieted down. Quatella swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and the cold sweat broke out on his head. The main responsibility of the Grand Priest is to monitor and manage the entire universe instead of Zeno, and he didn't expect that even this kind of thing would be noticed by him. Quatella wanted to defend himself, but couldn't find the right words. According to Grand Priest, it was he who started the dispute. Grand Priest said to Quatella, assassination is not prohibited in the rules, so I didn't stop you, and I certainly won't stop Chiu. Well, don't say any more, my lord has already waited. Up. Quote. Quatella said. But Lord Grand Priest. Grand Priest ignored Quatella, but said, now I announce that the Tournament of Power has officially started, and all contestants are invited to come on stage. The 4th Supreme Kai looked at Quatella and said, what should I do? Master Quatella. Now that things have happened, Quatella has no choice but to grit his teeth and say, let the players go on stage. The strong players participating in the competition come from different universes, so they have different shapes. A bald man with long ears, a robot with a whole body of steel, you name it. The only thing in common is that these people all exude a terrifying aura. Of course, this has to send out the 4th universe and Chiu. No matter in terms of breath or appearance, Chiu is an out-and-out common. Advertisement. He came on stage and even pushed the shopping cart. Chiu found a shady place to sit down, then took out a comic book, and read it intently. Seeing the happy place, he also let out a piercing laugh without any scruples, which made people unbearable. Because of what happened before as a foreshadowing, and some people suspected that Chiu was a real superpower, no one shot him at the beginning of the game. Thus, a strange scene happened like this. Warriors from all universes gathered on the edge of the arena, waiting for the battle, not daring to breathe. Chiu was the only one sitting under the big pillars in the arena, eating snacks and reading comics at the same time. But no one dared to attack him. The 11th Universe Camp. A member of the proud team, Dispo who was good at speed couldn't help but said to the captain beside him, Toppo, is this man named Chiu really as great as you say? Toppo said. Of course, this guy's strength is unfathomable. I have a hunch that even compared with Jiren, he may not be inferior at all. But this guy's personality is extremely annoying, and he likes to kill innocent people indiscriminately. He will the strongest enemy of our 11th universe. Then, Toppo continued. Then everyone save your strength first, and we will concentrate on solving this guy until the end. Don't be afraid, no matter how strong this guy is, we still have the last resort. After finishing speaking, Jiapo looked at Jiren who had been standing in the open space in front of him without saying a word. Okay. It is a matter of the survival of the universe, and everyone still needs to have certain tactics. After arranging the plan, Toppo sat down and began to meditate, waiting for the moment to come. Advertisement. Meanwhile, the same discussions are still going on in the 10th universe. This uncle is really powerful. I don't think so. I think the strong can't just look at the surface. Even if you don't look at the surface, he can't feel any chi. Stop arguing. At this moment, a strong man came out, and it was Muli Kimu from the 10th universe. Muli Kimu looked at his watch, then took out the protein powder and took a big sip, before saying, I'll go to 193 to test his strength for everyone. At this time, Chiu was sitting in the middle of the ring. No matter who wanted to attack first, he had to bypass Chiu first. This makes it difficult for everyone. That's why Oyster Muki stood up, ready to test the force zone of extrusion first. Li Libe Wu, a companion with butterfly wings, said, Be careful, if you are no match for him, please retreat immediately. Mulimu said strangely, I know. After finishing speaking, Mulimuki walked towards Chiu, and everyone present held their breath, not daring to act rashly. Krillin in the corner of the arena clenched his fists and said, Damn it, what the hell is Master doing? Sitting alone in the middle, he will become everyone's target. Vegeta folded his hands and said to Krillin, Instead of paying attention to Chiu, you should care about yourself. Son Goku also said, Don't worry, the bald devil will be fine. Krillin was skeptical, and then looked towards the center of the ring. At this time, Mulimuki had already arrived in front of Chiu. He showed his exaggerated muscles, and said to Chiu, A real man must have strong muscles, the sloppy uncle in front, I challenge you in the name of muscles. Advertisement. Chapter 96 Crush the ring with one punch. 3 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Sloppy uncle in front, I challenge you in the name of muscles. Mulimuki poses in various poses to show off his toned muscles to Chiu. At this moment, Chiu suddenly shed a few tears and sobbed softly. What happened? Why did the bald devil cry? Li Libe Wu clapped her hands and said, I understand, this man named Chiu must have been scared to tears by Mulimuki's muscles, so she is just a posturing guy. Not only the 10th universe, but the Saiyan girl Caulifla of the 6th universe also said, It's really embarrassing, I was so scared that I cried. After all, Caulifla also started to move. At this moment, Hitler stopped her and said, Don't move. Caulifla was puzzled. Why? That guy is obviously a guy who is strong on the outside, but he is stuck in the middle, how can we attack? Hit lifted up his shirt, revealing a bowl-sized scar on his chest. It is conceivable that Hit must have been beaten right back then. The scar was so ferocious that Caulifla's face turned pale. It is hard to imagine how Hit, who had been so seriously injured, survived. Hit said, This is the fate of underestimating that guy, do you understand? Caulifla took a step back unconsciously. Hit is the #1 powerhouse in the 6th universe. Even if she mastered Super Saiyan transformation, it would be difficult for Caulifla to pass a move under Hit. Advertisement. To be able to hurt Hit like this, then Chiu's power is definitely not fake. Hit turned his head to look in Mulimuki's direction and said, Look. This guy is going to be unlucky. At this time, Mulimuki was still showing off his muscles. Kill him. Kill this bastard who dares to stand in the middle. People who are frightened enough to cry are not worthy of coming to the tournament of power. Mulimuki, finish him with one punch. Mulimuki lowered his head and said to Chiu, I don't like to bully the weak, but this is a tournament of power, sorry, humble weak. After saying that, Mulimuki raised his foot, ready to kick Chiu out of the ring. Chiu himself still didn't respond, looking down at the comic book. Finally, Mulimuki felt relieved and swept his kick towards Chiu. However, the bald demon king suddenly raised his head and yelled loudly. This comic book is really amazing, ah. Chiu yelled, and then slapped Mulimuki in front of him, and a horrible thing happened. Mulimuki flew out of the arena at a speed invisible to the naked eye. Amidst a loud bang, a strong wind blew up. The entire arena was like a biscuit, broken into 2 pieces by a huge force, and began to tilt slowly. In the strong wind, 2 or 3 warrior columns were unstable and were directly blown out of the ring. Advertisement. But even so, Chiu's palm style still remained undiminished, and he went straight to the auditorium where Quitella was. Just when Quitella and the gods of the fourth universe were shocked, Grand Priest stood up and blocked Chiu's palm. Quitella and the others breathed a sigh of relief, and immediately thanked Grand Priest. Thank you, Grand Priest. Chiu, this must have been intentional, if it wasn't for you. Suddenly, Quitella stopped talking because he saw Grand Priest's body trembling slightly. Fourth Supreme Kai shocked. Grand Priest you. Grand Priest put his hands behind his back and turned his back to Quitella and others. Don't worry, I'm fine. It's just that I haven't felt this way for many years, so I'm a little excited. Excited? You mean, what does it feel like? Grand Priest looked at Chiu on the ring, and said in a deep voice, it's the feeling of fighting spirit. Quitella and others are about to go crazy, and if they can give Grand Priest a feeling of fighting spirit, doesn't it mean that Grand Priest has already admitted that Chiu is a powerhouse at his level? Quitella swallowed, and stared at the ring with wide eyes. Gale was still roaring in the arena, but it was not so strong anymore. The entire arena was torn apart, and centered on Chiu. It was divided into east and west parts, floating in the air of the void realm. Chiu looked in Mulimuki's direction and said, sorry, you blocked my light. After that, he sat down again, tore open a bag of potato chips, and continued to eat snacks and read comics. No one dared to make a sound. No one dared to make the slightest move, only the sounds of Chiu chewing potato chips and flipping books were left in the ring. Advertisement. Creak 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 creak. Awesome. Chiu is amazing. The two Zenos took out a tablet-like machine, and then grayed out the faces of the players who had just been eliminated. These unlucky ones who fell out of the arena have now all returned to the players' benches. Among them, the most depressing one was probably Mulimuki, who fell into a near-death state without even knowing what happened. If it weren't for the automatic recovery of injuries after falling into the void, he would be dead now. The 10th Gods of Destruction Rumshi has an elephant's head. He hit Mulimuki on the head with his elephant trunk and cursed. Didn't I tell you to be cautious? You eliminated yourself so early. Mulimuki covered his head and said, I'm sorry, Nuoli is good. Rumshi shook his head and said, forget it, at least the current development is beneficial to us. Mulimu asked strangely, people from the 7th universe are so powerful, why are they beneficial to us? Rumshi said, yes, it is because their Chiu player is too strong, so it is in our favor. Didn't you notice? All eyes are on this person named Chiu. Chiu's blow just now completely shocked everyone, even Jiren opened his eyes and watched Chiu's movements. The 7th universe was originally the initiator of this power tournament. It can be said that everyone has a strong hatred for the 7th universe. At this time, Chiu showed too much strength, so not only Chiu, but also Son Goku and others became the focus of the field. Past. Advertisement. Chapter 97 Krillin in Super God State. For more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Chiu was still obediently reading the comic book, and everyone held a cold attitude towards this overly powerful big devil. Before doing anything to Chiu, it would be wise to eliminate the rest of the 7th universe and weaken the overall strength of the 7th universe. Otherwise, once Chiu joins the battle and fights with Goku and others, the battle will be overwhelming. In fact, even leaving aside Chiu, the overall strength of the 7th universe is extremely strong. Especially after Frieza and Vegeta joined, apart from the 11th universe with Jiren, the other teams are not very good. Of course, 10 fingers have different lengths, and not everyone in the 7th universe is so powerful. The scuffle started quickly, and the first to be targeted was Krillin, who had the same hairstyle as Chiu. The enemy he faced was Basil, who had fought against Majin Buu, but unfortunately lost. Basil stuck out his scarlet tongue, licked his fangs and said, I heard that you are the weakest warrior in the 7th universe. The weakest person in the 7th universe should be Master Roshi, but Krillin did not argue, but clenched his fists. Today's Krillin is not what he used to be, but even with 210, Basil is definitely not an opponent that can be underestimated. Teammates have their own opponents, and the only person Krillin can rely on at this time is himself. Advertisement. Seeing that Krillin actually faced Basil, Beerus in the stands couldn't help but broke into a cold sweat, and said, too bad, Basil is one of the 3 trump cards of the 9th universe, and Krillin can't handle it. Whis said, I heard that Krillin and the bald-headed devil went to practice together. I don't know how the results are. Everyone still absolutely recognizes Chiu's strength. If Chiu is Klin's teacher, maybe Krillin can really reach a very high level. However, the time was still too short, even Chiu couldn't make a qualitative change in Klin's strength in just a dozen hours. Thinking of this, Beerus couldn't help saying, Krillin, don't fight him, run away, let Vegeta and Goku deal with him later. If it was Krillin in the past, without Beerus reminding him, he would have run away with oil on his feet. But this time, instead of running, Krillin put on a posture and confronted Basil. Beerus scolded. Damn it, is there going to be downsizing so soon? Whis said. It's not certain. If the bald devil really gave him some secret technique, maybe Krillin can really defeat Basil. Is there really a dozen hours of training in the world that can transform a person? Beerus doesn't believe it anymore. If he enters the House of Spirit and Time, then maybe he can try it. But Chiu didn't take Krillin to the House of Spirit and Time. So if Krillin can beat Basil, then Beerus doesn't believe anything. So far, I can only hope that Krillin can last a while longer, and wait until Goku and others solve their opponents. Advertisement. At this moment, 2 rounds of red arrogance erupted from Basil's legs, and then suddenly disappeared on the spot. In the next instant, the red werewolf appeared above Klin's head, and with one leg like a battle axe, he slashed at Klin's head. Boom. After a burst of explosions, cracks like spider webs appeared under Klin's feet, and his whole body was bent down by the blow. But even so, Klin's hands still blocked Basil's full blow. Beerus in the stands looked straight. Blocked. Did this faint-breathing Earthman actually block Basil's attack? Beerus muttered. What did the bald devil do to him? Why did he become so much stronger in such a short period of time? CCEH. Even Whis frowned, his face serious. Everything that happened on the field was really unbelievable. If a man's fighting power could soar to this point in more than 10 hours, then Chiu must have used some super secret technique that even he, an angel, doesn't know. However, this is only the beginning. Basil let out a loud cry, and then burst into anger. His feet turned into torrential rain, continuously blasting towards Krillin, causing violent explosions on the ring. But this time, Basil's attack still had no obvious effect. Krillin waved his hands, taking all of Basil's attacks. Gradually, Basil stopped, and he turned his head to look at his elder brother Belgemo, who was fighting, who said this guy is the weakest warrior in the 7th universe. Are you sure our information is correct? Belgemo stretched out his hand to block the enemy's attack and said, the people from the 4th universe told us that there should be no problem. Advertisement. Basil said. Hurry up and deal with your opponent, come and help me, this kid is a little troublesome. Melee in the arena is not the place to talk about demeanor. According to Klin's strength, even if Basil could defeat him, he would have to pay a heavy price, which is not what Basil would like to see. But unfortunately, Belgamer faced Hit, who was 10 times worse than Basil. My side is more difficult than yours, don't hold back, and deal with that kid. Without the support of his teammates, Belgemo may not last long. Seeing this situation, Basil could only do his best. He looked at Krillin and said viciously, sorry boy, my brother needs help, I'm afraid I don't have time to play with you. After all, the arrogance on Belgamo's feet soared again. You are a very powerful warrior. Krillin stood up straight and praised Basil. At this moment, a strange aura began to brew on Klin's body and slowly revealed. This time, Beerus was not calm at all, he stared and said, this. Could this be? Whoa, this is really unexpected. Whis covered his mouth and said, Krillin has also reached this level, what should this be called? What do you think of the god of super terrestrials? Yes, although it was very faint, the flames that emerged from Klin's body did indeed symbolize the flames of God, not the flames of arrogance. P.S. There is a power outage at home, so the update is a little late. Advertisement. Chapter 98 Hit explodes. 5 updates, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Although compared with Goku and Vegeta, Krillin's blaze is as weak as a candle in the wind, but it does mark that he has stepped into the realm of God. That round of white flames covered his skin, shining like jade, not violent, but pure and serene. Seeing this scene, Vegeta was probably the most unbalanced in his heart. He clenched his fists and gritted his teeth and said, damn it, Krillin, that bastard, must have obtained the secret practice method of the big bald devil. Damn the big bald devil. I'm your younger brother. Ah, you actually passed the secret method to an outsider and refused to pass it on to me. Due to the restrictions of the Constitution, as a human being on Earth, Krillin can't get as powerful as Saiyan, but in terms of realm, Krillin has already stood at the same height as Goku and Vegeta. If he hadn't acquired some kind of earth-shattering secret technique, how could Krillin become a god in such a short period of time? In fact, no matter Vegeta or Beerus, they have overlooked a problem, that is, Klin's experience in fighting and training is no worse than that of Lan Kong. They all learn from Master Roshi, from Piccolo Daimao to Majin Buu, every enemy that Goku has fought, he has also fought. Maybe he can't compare to Son Goku in terms of talent, but regardless of experience or the use of chi, Krillin is not inferior to Goku at all. What he lacks is only a psychological breakthrough. After Chi-Yu's training, Krillin has completely overcome his fear and stepped into this fantasy realm. Krillin yelled. Basil, let's see it. This is the power I gained after enduring 11 hours of abuse by the bald devil. Advertisement. Basil tilted his head and sneered, "Stop bluffing, I can't feel anything at all, even the chi in your body has disappeared." Krillin said, "It's just that your realm is too low." At this moment, Belgamo's voice came again. "Basil, how long are you going? I can't hold it anymore." Hit is not an easy-going existence, even if he does not exert much strength in order to preserve his physical strength, he is not an opponent that Belgemo can defeat. Only 1 minute passed, and Belgemo was already covered in injuries and seemed to be in danger. "I'll take care of this guy right away. Just wait." Basil turned his head and said, "Okay, the entertainment time is over, go to hell, little bald head." After saying that, Basil rushed towards Krillin again. At this moment, the ninth universe gods of destruction Sidra shouted to Basil, "Azir, stop. That is not a realm you can challenge." But his reminder was too late. Basil was originally the weakest of the dangerous trio, and he had no chance of winning against Krillin, who had already reached the god level. Just as his legs were up high, Krillin delivered an uppercut that landed Basil in the stomach. Basil spat out a mouthful of blood, and his body shot up into the sky, but Krillin was not ready to let him go. "Ah! Hit, hit, hit." Advertisement. Krillin punched frantically, and Basil's body twisted and deformed under the stormy attack. "Basil." Belgemo called his brother's name loudly, but Basil was overwhelmed and fell from the sky and remained motionless. Krillin walked over, lifted Basil from the ground, and threw him off the ring. The victorious Krillin shouted excitedly, "This is the strength of my bald little devil, ha ha ha." Seeing Krillin's victory, Beerus in the stands also breathed a sigh of relief, as expected of the man who received Chiu's training, the bald little devil. This is really interesting. At this moment, a figure passed Krillin's head at an extremely fast speed, and hit the ground behind Krillin. This person was covered in blood, and there were blood holes all over his body, which looked extremely terrifying. This is none other than Bel, who just fought against Hit. The ninth gods of destruction Sidra pulled his beard and said frantically, "Damn it, 2 of the dangerous trio have already been killed, what should we do?" The strength of the ninth universe was already at the bottom of all the universes, but now that it lost 2 generals one after another, Sidra couldn't help but not panic. Fortunately, at this time, the ninth Supreme Kai said, "Lord Sidra, don't worry, just watch the field. The kid who defeated Basil is also finished asking for flowers." After Hit also dealt with Belgamo, he walked directly towards Krillin. It stands to reason that Krillin is no match for Hit no matter what. "Little bald devil, I see. You are Chiu's apprentice." Advertisement. There are many people in this world who have entanglements with Chiu. If you want to choose the person who hates Chiu the most, then Hit will definitely be in the top 5. From the very first meeting, Chiu made a big hole in Hit's chest, and then repeatedly broke Hit to a crushed fracture. As soon as Chiu was mentioned, Hit was so angry that he couldn't sleep all night. Up to now, defeating Chiu has become an obsession in Hit's heart. Since he can't deal with the bald demon king, it is also a very good choice to take his apprentice. Now Krillin's strength has far surpassed that of the past, but he is facing Hit, who can draw 50-50 with Son Goku. No matter how much Krillin improved, he couldn't reach the point where he could defeat Hit. Fortunately, at this time, Vegeta had already dealt with his enemies and appeared in front of Krillin. Although he has all kinds of envy, jealousy and hatred for Krillin, it is related to whether the entire universe will be eliminated, and Vegeta is not on Krillin's side. Hit said, "Vegeta, get out of the way, I don't want to fight with you, the defeated general." There are 2 things that the proud Vegeta hates the most in his life, the first is Chiu, and the second is someone who despises him. Since Hit dared to talk to himself like this, no matter what, the 2 of them had to fight to the death. "Go away, leave this to me." Of course, Krillin didn't want to fight Hit. This was clearly a fatal outcome, so he said with amnesty, "Then I'm leaving, bye." After saying that, Krillin rubbed oil on the soles of his feet and disappeared without a trace. Seeing Vegeta let go of his prey, Hit was also very angry and said, "Since you are looking for death, you can't blame me. Take a look, this is the power I prepared to defeat Chiu." After all, a vast aura rose from the field, and all the players couldn't help but stop their movements and look in Hit's direction. Advertisement. Chapter 99. Chiu's invincible bald head. 6 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Ah. Hit yelled up to the sky, and the breath of his body rushed in all directions like a tsunami, and even the entire ring trembled slightly under his breath. As the wind wave after wave, Hit's breath became more and more concentrated. Immediately afterwards, 2 dazzling balls of light appeared on Hit's hands. Beerus in the stand said in amazement, "What is this? Why do I have a bad feeling?" At this moment, a rude and tasteless laughter came from the stand next door. For endless ages, every time Beerus heard this laughter, he beat the owner of the sound to pieces. Beerus raised his fist at Champa and said, What the hell are you laughing at, fat pig? Champa snorted coldly and said, Beerus, you just wait to die. Now Hit is an invincible existence of 423. Beerus disdainfully said, what invincible existence? Can he still defeat Chiu? Champa didn't speak, and then stretched out his hand, only to see that his hand was wrapped with a thick bandage. Immediately afterwards, Champa unwrapped the bandage, revealing a deep bony gash. Anyway, Champa is gods of destruction. In this huge universe, how many people can cause such damage to Champa? A drop of sweat fell from Beerus' forehead. Could it be? Advertisement. Champa laughed again. Beerus. I deliberately didn't recover from the injury just to see your expression. Yes, it was caused by Hit. With my help, Hit today is no longer the Hit of the past up. Beerus said, what the hell did you do? Champa said, guess. At this moment, Weiss interrupted the dispute between the two, and said to Beerus, Master Beerus, look at the field. Beerus turned his head and saw the deep black energy he was familiar with on Hit's body. Yes, it was the power of gods of destruction. Unexpectedly, in such a short period of time, She has already mastered the destructive energy zone belonging to gods of destruction. Beerus said angrily, you actually taught him the power of gods of destruction. Champa sarcastically said, you can give it to Chiu, why can't I give it to Hit? Besides, the current Hit's strength is not just because of his gods of destruction power. The two balls of black's light grew bigger and bigger in Hit's hands. At this moment, Hit suddenly shouted, super destructive flame knife. The destructive energy suddenly deformed in Hit's hands, turning into two light knives with a length of 1 meter, one on the left and one on the right, swallowing terrifying energy. What's this? Hit didn't change his form, but the two light knives in his hands exuded terrifying power, and Vegeta's palms couldn't help but sweat. Hit said, I have been pursuing a move that can hurt Chiu and break his defense. For this, I have experienced countless practices, but I still failed miserably in Chiu's hands. At this time, Lord Champa taught me the power of gods of destruction. Advertisement. Vegeta trembled. Could it be? Could it be that you combined the power of gods of destruction with your own moves? That's right. Hit shouted. My moves have a super penetrating ability, coupled with the destructive energy that destroys everything, even Chiu can't stop my attack. Die, Vegeta. After that, Hit rushed towards Vegeta. The two light knives dragged out two bright trajectories on the ring, and before Vegeta had time to react, Hit's slash arrived. In a panic, Vegeta could only dodge in embarrassment. Even if he hadn't experienced it himself, Vegeta knew that these two light knives should never be touched. Hit masters bug skills like flash time kung fu, and is best at giving the enemy a fatal blow in the gap of time. The reason why he is always defeated by Chiu is because Chiu's body is too strong. Even if Hit uses all, none of the means can cause effective damage to Chiu. So Hit has been pursuing the ultimate attack power. If these two lightsabers can damage Shendu, let alone Vegeta. During this period of time, Vegeta has become much stronger, and he can barely avoid Hit's attack, but that is when Hit has not used the flash time skill. Vegeta stepped back quickly. At this moment, Hit stopped time. Taste this indestructible blade, Vegeta. There is no substance that can stop my blade. At this time, Vegeta had fallen to the ground and wanted to crawl back, but his body was already unable to move under the flashing force. Then at this moment, the slap in the face happened. Advertisement. The light knife in Hit's hand stopped, because his knife was stuck by a very hard thing. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't move forward an inch. Vegeta was less than a meter away from the blade, but he just couldn't reach it. The reason why Hit's light knife got stuck was because it touched the hardest substance in the world, the body of Chiu. At some point, Vegeta had retreated to Chiu's side, and the trajectory of Hit's knife just overlapped with Chiu's head. So, the knife fell on Chiu's shiny bald head. The light knife collided with Chiu's head, making a steel sound that echoed throughout the arena. Champa's head rushed out of the auditorium, and he yelled unacceptably, how is this possible? Why can't such an attack hurt him? What is the body of the bald devil king made of? Hit was still using his strength, but Chiu's bald head was like a hard steel stone. No matter how hard he cut it, he couldn't get it in. Stop joking. Why can't 0.9 hurt you like this? I can't accept it. Ah. Hit raised his two knives and continued to slash wildly. The lightsaber collided with Chiu's head, and the horrific airflow aroused knocked the surrounding players upside down, but Chiu didn't seem to notice it at this time, and concentrated on watching the comics. Chiu's eyes were staring like copper bells, and his breath was short of breath, obviously seeing the exciting part. At this moment, Hit's light knife accidentally landed on the comic book, evaporating the entire comic into nothingness. Then, Chiu moved. He looked up at Hit and said, tell me what happened behind. Is Whitebeard dead? Did Ace and Luffy escape successfully? Tell me. According to Hit's understanding of Chiu, he knew that he might be in trouble. Advertisement. Chapter 100 Berserk, Tear Hit Alive. 1 update, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Tell me, is Whitebeard dead? Did Ace escape with Luffy successfully? A familiar and painful feeling emerged from Vegeta and Hit's hearts. They turned and ran without even thinking about it. This time, Hit launched a flash attack with his greatest strength. Time was stopped, but Chiu's movements were not restrained by the static time and space, and he still grabbed Hit's leg without hindrance. Due to inertia, Hit fell heavily to the ground. Vegeta ran behind a big rock at his fastest speed, and then heaved a sigh of relief. He poked his head out and looked at poor Hit and said, "Bastard Hit, just court death, and almost take me with you." This kind of back then, the big bald demon king was a completely irrational monster, whoever provoked him would die. He was killed by Chiu once, so Vegeta has a deeper understanding of this kind of thing than Hit. Sure enough, Chiu lifted Hit up, and said to Hit while hanging upside down, "Tell me, is Whitebeard dead? Did Ace escape with Luffy successfully?" What Whitebeard? I don't know. 22. I'll ask you one last time. Is Whitebeard dead? Did Ace escape with Luffy successfully? At this moment, Vegeta tightly hugged the stone in front of him. Then he pumped up all his energy and shouted to Son Goku and others who were still fighting, "Stop, prepare to resist the impact. It's coming." Hearing Vegeta's words, Son Goku probably knew what was going to happen. He grabbed Frieza, who was about to give the enemy the final blow, and said, "Stop hitting, run." Frieza said coldly, "What are you doing? I'm going to deal with this guy." Advertisement. Son Goku was very anxious, and said with a pale face, "I told you not to fight. Run quickly and find a bunker. If you don't run, you won't be able to escape." In the stands, Beerus was doing the same thing. He shouted to the surrounding gods of destruction and Supreme Kai, "Lie down. If you don't want to die, get down quickly. Grand Priest, please get ready. First aid measures for Hit." Quatella said, "Beerus, what are you yelling about?" At this moment, Champa also jumped out. "Quatella, you idiot, get down quickly." Quatella said, "I ask you what happened." Caulifla pushed away a boulder, then crawled out from under the rubble, and said in shock, "Gabe, how are you?" After fighting with people from the 7th universe for so long, Champa also understood what Chiu would do when he was in a rage. Boom. I'm seeing the most exciting moment. Gabe was sweating profusely and said, "It's okay, just do what you want, I can stand it." Chiu used too much force, and Hit's leg was completely torn. His body bounced high, flew to a distant place in the void world, and disappeared. However, this is just the beginning. Boom boom boom. Advertisement. Seeing that Champa also said the same, everyone understood the seriousness of the problem, so they quickly fell down on the stands. Quatella wrapped his limbs tightly around the pillar, resisting the impact while shouting to Beerus, who was himself on the same stone pillar, "What happened? I'll help you connect it. It might hurt a bit, bear with it." Beerus said, "It's all Champa's fault, it's his warrior who pissed off the bald devil." The storm gradually calmed down. At this time, the arena was completely broken into several pieces, and even the pillars used for timing flew to which universe they didn't know. Pieces of huge rubble were piled up in disorder, like tombstones in mass graves. Chiu lifted Hit's foot, and with a loud roar, he slammed it down to the ground. With Chiu and Hit at the center, a terrible airflow erupted, like a hurricane that destroyed everything, and went straight in all directions. Before the players who fell on the ground got up, the second wave of shock came again, and the ground was again shaken strongly, and each guy was thrown to the sky by the force of the shock. Generally speaking, if you don't feel chi, it means that the person is dead. This is a power conference, and according to the rules, killing people is not allowed. If Hit died, the person who killed Hit was also doomed to be eliminated. Toppo said, "Is there a big explosion in the stands?" The shock continues. Boom. Toppo, who was still watching the battle, said, "What are the people in the 7th universe doing? You dare to tear up my manga?" Advertisement. At this moment, a painful voice came from behind the boulder. "Help me, damn it, my hand is falling off." A burst of terrifying air rushed towards the auditorium, smashing the stands to pieces, and many gods hugged the pillars of the stands tightly to prevent themselves from being blown away by the strong wind. Caulifla twisted hard, and Gabe's joints clicked, and then they were twisted together. Gabe let out a cry of pain, and it took a long time to slowly recover, and said to Caulifla, "What's going on? I can't feel Hit's anger anymore." Boom. Jiren watched everyone's reactions calmly and said, "They seem to be preparing to resist the impact." Caulifla hurried over and dug Gabe out from under the rubble. At this time, Gabe's right leg was bending in a strange way, obviously injured. As soon as Toppo finished speaking, the explosion came. There was only one bloody thigh left, which was still held by Chiu. In the arena, Son Goku and others gave up their original opponents and formed a big group. Damn it, tell me. Why don't you talk? I haven't seen such a wonderful cartoon for many years. Who will tell me whether Whitebeard is dead or not? The contestants who were not prepared for the earthquake were directly bounced high into the sky and hit the ground heavily. Many of them were covered in blood. Beerus closed his eyes and shouted, "The wind is so loud, I can't hear what you are saying." Advertisement.